We are coming to you from the heart of London's financial district, Canary Wharf, where it's all business tonight, at least on the surface, because this is where the noise starts to build as the stars of Saturday's blockbuster Clash of the Giants card at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium step up to face the world's media. Well, Tuesday brought our headliners together high on the rooftop overlooking the stage where they'll ultimately battle it out, a pretty dramatic setting for their first encounter of the week. From there, the momentum only grew, the fighters receiving the full red carpet treatment on Wednesday night. Quite a fitting launch, you might say, as Fight Week kicked officially into full gear. And a stacked schedule continues here this evening inside the Pentagon with the press conference for the main card. And we'll start with the fighters in the opening Netflix bouts. Fraser, Justice Huni, Jamie TKV, and Richard Riakporhe. After that, we'll shift to the co-main event with Conor Benn and Regis Prograis speaking. And then we'll wrap with the grand finale. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King himself, and Arslanbek Makhmudov, who will give their comments before conducting another face-off. Well, hello from around the world. As we are here, fight night is just 48 hours away, and today is the last opportunity for these fighters to exchange words, to potentially gain a psychological advantage, at the very least, to size up their opponents that they'll see on Saturday. And we're going to break it all down for you here. I am Elle Duncan, your host, and I suppose for today, I'm the one with the accent. We've got two British boxing legends, three-time champ, Lennox Lewis, and a guy that made so much ease with cruiserweight, he moved up to heavyweight and took that down as well, in David Haye. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
How does it feel to be on this side of the press conference and not the one anticipating taking the stage?
Feels good.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. Yeah. There's no impending fight. Normally when I'm in these environments, I'm fired up. I'm looking at getting involved in the action. But now I can sit back, relax, and enjoy it from the outside of the ropes.
Oh, you didn't know our producer Declan said if we don't keep this thing on time, he will come fight all of us.
All
so
right,
there could still be the threat of Deck as well. But I mentioned off the top there, potentially a psychological advantage. What is the real purpose and gamesmanship behind a press conference like this? What can be gained here, Lennox?
Well, I don't think anything can be gained, because they've been called every name in the book from other opponents, and they know what it's like. So I think they're just here trying to, see if they can catch anything, any kind of weakness from their opponent, anything they can notice. This is just one of the things that you have to do if you're going into a big fight. A press conference.
What kind of things can you notice or pay attention to? What were you doing?
A lot of people go on about who breaks eye contact first. You have to face, you look in each other's eyes, and whoever looks first, apparently that's a sign of, you're scared or something like that. But so they now put a bit of paper between the two of them so nobody is the first one to look away. People are looking at that. You're looking at the size of the guy. You sometimes might have a little push and a pull or grab the arm just to see how firm it is to think. I know you want to feel their energy. You want to feel the energy because your energy's on point, and you want to know that you've got that little bit over your opponent.
Okay, what are you feeling 48 hours before a fight night? All of that, we showed a little bit of the pomp and circumstance surrounding this. The pressure is starting to build. Psychologically, where do you think our fighters are at right now, Lennox?
I think they want to get in the ring. All the training's been done. They want to get in the ring. They don't want to talk anymore. They don't want to look at each other. They just want to step in the ring because they've been in camp for how many weeks? Now they've come to London, prepared for the fight. They're ready. They don't want to talk. They don't want to sit. They want to fight.
They're ready.
Yeah, particularly the fighters making weight. At that stage, they're cutting weight. It's a tough place to be. They've got to weigh in tomorrow. They're not eating and not hydrated like they would ideally like to be. So for the smaller guys, it's a tough place. But for the heavyweights, for me, I loved the last few days, because the Monday was the last hard session, so my body was battered for Tuesday, Wednesday. Come Thursday today, I'm rehydrated, I'm feeling good, my muscles are healing, and I'm really feeling the vibe. So this was my favourite day, Thursday, and the weigh-in day. My body let me know I'm ready for battle. This is when all of the fighters have let all of the months of training settle in, and all of their energy system.
Machismo.
Yeah, it's all fired up. Yeah. That's the fight that every bit of the fight likes.
Well, do you guys have any notable press conferences during your career that stand out? And why is the answer Mike Tyson? I see Lennox.
Yeah, I do, definitely. There are definitely a couple that stand out. Mike Tyson wanted to eat my kids. I took that very
and
serious.
bit you. He took a chunk out of you instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a few tussles. Me and Derek Chisora had a little bit of a push and pull. They had to put a metal cage between us at the press conference to make sure we didn't get to each other. It was a real situation. Me and Tony Bellew as well. We had some heated words. There's a punch and a slap, and so. But I used to love that. I used to love the hype. I used to love to get people excited. And people are coming here today to see some spite between the fighters. They don't want to see a love fest. They don't want to see people going, I respect him, hope he gets home well. No. They want to do damage. And that's that. The fans, in my experience, want to see fighters who look rabid dogs wanting to do damage to the other guy.
So okay, that's perfect then. So is this more of a promotional tool then? Because when we talk about that Mike Tyson press conference, it might have got even more attention than the actual fight himself because he attacked you, and then apart from wanting to eat your kids, he wanted to do something to a journalist until he loved them. Like, do they know that coming in, that like we can actually gain a little bit more attention for this fight if we ratchet up?
I used to have a budget for fines, genuinely, and I had to pay it a few times. Because I knew I was going to go over the line of what was fair game, because those stepping over the line gets the headlines, terrible headlines, but the headlines that say tune in on Saturday night, which means more people pay pay-per-view. So for me, it was very much a strategy to ruffle some feathers, say some stuff that I know no one's going to like, but it's going to get headlines. The more headlines, the more people tune in, the more I get paid. So you're getting in the ring to risk your life. You want to get paid the most you can for that opportunity. So for me, it was. But a couple of times it got real. Me and Derek it was pretty real. That beat.
Not manufactured.
That didn't need to be, because we actually had a real fight.
Yeah, and of course he's talking about Derek Chisora, and you mentioned headlines. I would say that maybe the biggest headline from the introductory press conference was Tyson Fury saying that for his fight with Makhmudov, he was going to train himself, which was interesting and turns out is not exactly true, because we have seen Sugar Hill Stewart in social media clips and whatnot. What do you make of sort of the idea that he would allude to the fact that he's a one-man circus and do this on his own, but is in fact training with his longtime trainer?
Well, it would make that look like he's weak if he said that, and people would say, well, he needs a trainer. He's going to go in the fight with no trainer. And when you go in with no trainer, the other opponent thinks you're weak. It's like Eubank saying that his dad's not going to show up, and then at the last minute his dad shows up, and they look like a team, and that made Colin Ben like, man, kind of frown a little bit. I thought his dad wasn't going to be here, but now they're coming in unison. They're together. That makes Chris a lot stronger as a fighter.
Yeah, I think that Tyson Fury wanted to let everybody believe he wasn't going to come in shape. Maybe it would have given 10% less effort in Makhmudov's training, thinking that Tyson's trying himself. But behind the scenes, I'm sure he's been very professional. By the looks of his condition there, he looks in tip-top shape, as good a shape as I've seen him in years. And that's what I was hoping. We want to see the old Tyson Fury. We want to see the Gypsy King, the winner. We don't want to see someone coming out there and struggling with Makhmudov. That's not what he wants. There's some huge, massive legacy fights for him. He needs to put his name back out there with the wins. The 2 losses against Usyk, he wants to eradicate that, and he said that clearly. He wants Anthony Joshua, so nothing but a significant knockout defeat or a whitewash in terms of point scoring for this fight is a must for Tyson Fury, and the training would have reflected that.
Yeah, and the training has been long. A 16-week training camp. He said he wanted 1 week for every month that he was gone, which by the time he takes the ring on Saturday will be 467 days. We, of course, have many fights on the night, including some of our earlier bouts, and so to get us ready for that in their press conferences, we get it over to Thomas Schreiber.
Good stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the press conference for Clash of the Giants. Fury versus Makhmudov, live worldwide on Netflix this Saturday, April 11th, from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, England. This great event is being brought to you by Ring Magazine and Netflix. A few reminders, ladies and gentlemen. Tickets are available via Ticketmaster. And on Saturday, the fights will begin at 3:30 p.m. London time, with 6 bouts being shown on Tudum and Ring Magazine social platforms. Then, at 7 p.m. London time, we will be going live worldwide on Netflix with 4 exciting bouts. Let's now welcome our Part 1 press conference participants. Competing in a 10-round heavyweight contest from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, Justice Huni. From Burton-on-Trent, Staffordshire, England, Fraser, Big Fraser Clark. Competing in a 12-round contest for the British Heavyweight Championship, the challenger from Walworth, London, England, Richard the Midnight Train Riakporhe. The defending champion from Tottenham, London, England, Jamie TKV. We also welcome at this time trainer Joe Gallagher, manager Courtney Tuck, manager Mick Francis, Ben Shalom of Boxer, CEO of The Ring Magazine, Rick Reno. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we hand things over to your host, Mr. Josh Denzel.
Thank you, Thomas. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to those of you in the room and those watching around the world. We are just days away from a huge night of boxing this Saturday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, featuring a 10-fight card stacked with elite heavyweights, a British title fight, and some real global star power. Now, the action will get underway from 3:30 p.m. with 6 fights delivering wall-to-wall boxing for fans inside the stadium and those watching around the world on Tudum and the Ring platforms. Then, from 7 local time, the spotlight intensifies as 4 fights will be broadcast live globally on Netflix. Another landmark moment for the sport and every fighter on this card. Now, I want to extend a thank you to His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh and Ring Magazine for making this incredible night of boxing possible and bringing this amazing sport into the homes of millions of potential new boxing fans. And to give us an overview of the magnitude of this night and the quality of the matchups, please welcome CEO of the Ring Magazine, Rick Reno.
I just want to thank everyone for turning out. We got a massive turnout of media for this event. And, you know, what could you say? There's so much going on. The return of the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, coming back to the heavyweight division. Conor Benn continuing his march to a potential world title fight later in the year. And, you know, we got 4 great heavyweights up here with 2 interesting matchups. You know, Riakporhe, he's got the look, you know, he's got the body, he's got the style, he could punch, and he's going to have to put it all together because TKV is determined. It's a really interesting fight, and the winner of that matchup will go on to a much bigger opportunity in the second half of the year. And of course, one fight that really interests me personally is Fraser Clark and Justice Huni. These guys were due to meet in the amateurs. Now they meet in the pros, both of them with high amateur pedigrees. Fraser with the Olympic accolades, and both of them are looking for redemption. You know, Fraser came to the sport in the heavyweight division with a lot of hype. I think his back is a little bit against the wall, and, you know, Joe Gallagher's got him ready. He's hungry. He wants to get a big win, and he wants to be back in the mix for the big fights. But, you know, Justice Huni in his last matchup, he showed that he's not a guy you could overlook. I don't think anyone's ever going to overlook him again. He was nearly at the finish line of pulling off what would have been one of the biggest upsets of 2025. But like they say in the heavyweight division, one punch is all it takes. And he just got caught. I think he learned from that. And, you know, he's also looking for a big opportunity. But he's got a big guy in front of him in Fraser Clark, and the same thing goes in that fight. The winner will go on to a much bigger opportunity in the second half of the year.
No doubt. Thank you, Rick. Now, just want to ask you one more question. Having a platform like Netflix broadcasting is a genuine game changer. Ring Magazine cards shown to, potentially tens or hundreds of millions of people. How significant is this for the moment, for the sport's growth and its ability to reach new fans?
I mean, Netflix is such a massive, massive platform. It's unbelievable what it does, not only for the sport of boxing, but these fighters that are on stage here, even fighters that are well-known like Conor Benn and Tyson Fury. I mean, the events that they've been doing on Netflix and boxing, I have people talking to me about these events that usually don't watch boxing. And they're like, I saw this, I saw that, because, it's hard to meet anyone who doesn't have a Netflix subscription these days. And I expect that this will have a massive worldwide audience, and it's going to do a lot for the profiles of every fighter involved on the show.
There's no doubt about it. Thanks, Rick. This is the first of 3 press conferences this evening with our co-main event fighters still to come. But we start with the heavyweights who are going to open up the Netflix broadcast at 7 p.m. Former Olympic bronze medalist Fraser Clark is taking on Justice Huni. Now, I'm going to start with Ben Shalom, founder and head of Boxer. Quick questions. Let's start with your man, Fraser Clark. It feels like a big moment for him after last time out. How confident are you we see a different version of Fraser coming to us?
First of all, I want to say thank you to His Excellency Turkey. I think this is the first British boxing event on Netflix. Incredible achievement. But for Fraser Clark, this is massive. I think there's so many fighters that have a bad night, at the office and they want an easy way out. He wanted to go back to the drawing board. He's teamed up with Joe Gallagher, and this opportunity came, and the first person I called was Joe. I said, look, how is Fraser? How's he doing? Is he back in the gym? He said, Ben, he's more fired up than ever. He's a quality fighter, as we all know. If he gets his head right, this is a perfect fight. This is the fight that we need. This is the big fights that Fraser needs to be in. And that's why we're here now. Justice Huni is a quality fighter. They're both quality fighters. They're both incredible amateur careers. But what a moment for Fraser to come back in a massive way, live on Netflix. And yeah, it could steal the show. I think this could be fight of the night.
You talk about must-win fights. This really is a must-win fight for your man, isn't it?
It is. Look, we say that a lot, but for me in the heavyweight division, as we've seen with Derek Chisora, it's about coming back, it's about bringing numbers, and it's about giving the fans what they want, which is a spectacle. And Fraser had a very bad night last time out, but people still want to see him fight. People want to see him fulfill his potential. Everyone says the next fight is a must-win fight. It's a very important fight. It's a fight that catapults him into the top, back to the top of the heavyweight division. But it's a huge moment for both guys, 100%.
Thank you, Ben. Now on to Mick Francis, trainer of Justice Huni. Against a physical fighter like Clark, how important is it, Justice, to stay disciplined and doesn't get drawn into the wrong type of fight, knowing what could come next?
Yeah, well, it's super important. Anyone that saw Justice's last fight against Fabio, they know Justice can move. He's got style, he's got skill. Anyone that knows Justice from back in the day, they know he had a massive amateur career, and it's a great opportunity to be back in England, fight on another massive card. But, that last fight, yeah, he fell asleep a little bit towards the back end of the fight, but he's learned from that. And, fighters, they always learn. You've got to remember, he's only had 13 fights. So he's 27 years old, he'll turn 27 last week. He's still got a long way to go in his career. But I feel as though that this is the fight that is going to secure Justice to be one of the dominating young fighters coming through, and we're looking forward to Saturday night. But I've never seen Justice so fit. He looks incredible. He's got a new coach. The coach has done an amazing job as well. Bodie Bradford's done an amazing job of his strength and conditioning. Look, he's never been so fit. I was watching him on the pads the other day. I've never seen him hit so hard. A lot of people have always said about Justice that lacks a little bit of power. Well, come Saturday night, that's going to change.
What's Justice's ceiling in boxing? You believe he can go to the very, very top? Absolutely,
100%. No one has seen the best of Justice Huni. I've been saying this for a long time. Justice hasn't had a camp since his second fight that he has no injuries. And I know a lot of boxers go through camps with no injuries, but when he fought Kevin Lorena, he couldn't even hit pads. His diet was terrible. He was heavy. He was hitting noodles for training. He couldn't do sparring. he should never have been in that ring. And what he did that night against Kevin Lorena was remarkable. So, you know, Justice has got a lot to offer, and he's going to be around for a long time. And you talk about ceilings, this guy's going to go all the way.
Thank you very much, Mick. Now let's talk to the man himself. Justice, welcome. This is a huge opportunity, fighting on a truly global platform, on a ring card that could propel you into the limelight and homes of millions of people. Are you conscious of the scale of this moment? And do you see this as not just a chance to win, but really show and introduce yourself to not just the boxing public, but the public?
Yeah, I think my last fight out over here was kind of introduced me to everyone on this side of the world. And, you know, I'm ready to come back and do it again. So, yeah, I'm excited, I'm fit, I'm ready to go. And, yeah, can't wait for Saturday night.
You mentioned that fight against the current WBO heavyweight champion, Fabio Wardley. You were ahead on the scorecards after 9, looked comfortable, close to victory before it just slipped away. Do you still take a little bit of confidence and belief from a performance like that?
Yeah, that's it. Look, I took nothing but positive things away from that fight. Even though I lost, it was a win-win for me. You know, getting the opportunity to come over this side of the world and showcase what I've got to offer. So, yeah, like I said, I'm back and, yeah, ready to put on a show.
No doubt. Tyson Fury topping this bill and some elite heavyweights, as you can see. It feels like a bit of a shop window for the heavyweight division. Do you see yourself as a chance to kind of advertise, and if that fight came along and that was offered, would it be a rematch with Fabio or a fight with the Gypsy King? Yeah,
100%. Like, I wouldn't pass up the opportunity again. You know, I took the opportunity the first time to fight him in a heartbeat. So if it came up again, I would do the exact same thing.
No doubt. Now, Saturday will also be an emotional moment for you. To be your first fight without your long-time trainer, Kerry Fui, who tragically passed away after suffering a heart attack. So we're very sorry for your loss, and our thoughts are with you. How much has that kind of experience and grief fueled you into this camp?
Oh, this fight is dedicated to him, man. He was not only a trainer to me, he was like a father figure as well. So, yeah, I'll be doing this one for him.
I was going to say, do you feel like you're not just fighting for yourself, but fighting for your memory? You can't buy that kind of motivation, can you?
Yeah, that's it. Do it for myself, my family, and for him. So, yeah, it's going to be a big moment, and one to remember.
Both had long amateur careers, you and Fraser. Talk to me. Is someone you knew about coming up in the scene? Is it someone you were aware of before big nights like this?
Yeah, 100%. First met Fraser in the amateurs. We've done sparring before, a long time ago, obviously, but we're supposed to meet in the amateurs, and due to a cut, had to withdraw from that fight. But I always felt like we were going to meet at some point in our career, and yeah, now's the time.
What do you have that he can't deal with?
Just my boxing ability and movement, speed. I think when I put it all together, it's going to be a tough challenge for him.
No doubt. And finally, do you feel like it's going to be a points victory, a knockout victory? Is that something you want to predict?
I've got no expectations. I just win any way possible, man. I'm just ready to get back into the winning circle.
Thank you very much, Justice. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice one. Now, Fraser, welcome. Pleasure to see you again, my brother.
Good to see you, mate.
No doubt. This is a huge fight. You know, Ben said it's a must-win. Do you see this as a crossroads moment, a chance to really re-establish yourself in that heavyweight mix?
Every fight for me since my debut has been a must-win. There's been pressure on me ever since. That's expected. That's what comes with an Olympic bronze medal. You know, you get all the airtime, and you're portrayed as the next big thing. So you do get a lot of pressure. That's always been on. There's no difference in this fight. There's always been pressure every time I get in a boxing ring. But the biggest pressure for me is the pressure I put on myself to turn up prepared and to execute my game plan.
No doubt. Now, the fight against TKV, sat there, it didn't go the way you planned. From your point of view, what went wrong that night, and what lessons have you taken from it and implemented into your camp?
Listen, I've learned a lot. That night, You know, just in case any of you forgot, I lost on a split decision. You know, the way it's talked about, it's like I was beat from pillar to post. It was a close fight, a good fight. Jamie came out on top. I had to do some changing, to look at myself in the mirror. I did that. I relocated to Manchester to train with Joe Gallagher. And from that second there, things started to change. I walked into the gym. I was surrounded by good fighters. Mikey Talon being one of them who's out there who's gonna shine on the undercard. I did some soul searching. I had to, you know. I'm a lot better than what I showed. I know that. So since that fight, like I say, I've relocated, I've applied myself, but it's all right being here and talking about it. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. So Saturday night, it's time to prove everyone here wrong, because, listen, you can't hide from the noise. I see all the faces. I see all the doubters. These are the guys that have motivated me over the last few months, and I'm here to prove everyone wrong.
How do you channel that? Because coming with that Olympic bronze medalist and that pedigree, it also comes with doubters. How do you turn that into motivation?
Well, these are the people that make you do that extra bit, you know, in training. Go them extra yards, do the extra bit. You know, I'm highly motivated by being the underdog in this fight. Highly motivated by it. I'm a proud person, and the blood that runs from my veins is fighting blood, you know. My father had a conversation with me, you know, after my last fight, and I could see the worry in his face, and he told me pretty much straight, if you don't change, don't carry on. So what I had to do was go and change, and I've done exactly that.
How sweet will it feel to prove those doubters wrong?
Of course, like I say, that's the motivation. For any of you guys that think I'm just turning up here to take part, you're absolutely crazy, and you obviously don't know me well enough. That's never been in my DNA. There's never been a fight where I don't leave every ounce of myself in that ring. And like I say, this is not about going in there and just surviving. I'm coming here to win, and to win well. I've got all the respect in the world for Justice Huni. I've known him for a long time, and I've always respected his skills. But for 1 second, please don't get it twisted and think that Big Fraser is just here to get involved or to be on Netflix. That was never, ever the case. You know, my application and the want from me, the heart inside of me, will drive me through this fight, along with a great game plan and being smart.
No doubt. Now, you mentioned change. You walked into the Joe Gallagher's gym in Manchester. Joe, I want to open up the floor to you quickly. How have you found training Fraser, and even at 34, do you still think there's time to fulfil that potential that he has?
Listen, Fraser came to me, I think it was the first week in January, and said, listen, I won't mind doing some work with you. So I said, okay. I gave him a trial, a month's trial, and it's mad crazy. People say, what, you give an Olympic bronze medalist a trial? Yeah, I'd done it with Paul Butler, did it with Natasha Jonas, because I didn't want no pressure. I wanted to see, did he have a desire? Did he have a will? Did he have a want? And did he have that hunger in his eyes? And he had that, and then he relocated to Manchester, and he's been there since. And he's in the gym, and he's come from an environment where he's been part of a successful GB team to then as a pro training on his own, and that's not good for no man. He's back in a team environment. He's training alongside Lawrence Okola, Jack Massey, Zelfa Barrett, Mikey Talon, all good fighters. Some are champions, some are going to be champions, and having that vibe in around, and that's the environment that he's used to, as he was during the TGB. And this is what we've got with him now, and we've worked on a mindset, we've worked on a game plan, and we were offered, oh, do you want to come back in a 4-6 rounder, and then we'll have a big fight after that? And I said, no, he's 34 years of age, we're here to fight, and there's too many warm-ups going on in boxing. Just get in and fight. Doing warm-ups, you're doing putting more miles on the clock, more training, more sparring, more injuries. Fights won't happen. I said only one time in the past I've heard a fight have a warm-up with Sugar Ray Leonard, and he nearly got done by Kevin Howard. But them boys never had warm-ups, they all got in and got stuck in. And it's the same here. So Fraser is geared up, you can hear him talk. There's a lot of feeling and a lot of passion. He wants to prove everybody wrong. And we know how fickle boxing is. And we know how judgmental people are, and a lot of people have opinions, and that's their opinions. But Fraser, a man of his own destiny, He's fighting Justice Huni, a very talented fighter, quick feet, quick hands, boxes on the back foot, switches southpaw, and you can hear from him the passion in him with a new coach. Sorry to hear the bad news of his former coach, respect to him and his family, but this is two hungry fighters, similar amateur backgrounds, 12, 13 fights each. This has got to be one of the best fights on the card. Before I say that, I just want to thank Turk Al-Sheikh, Seller, Ring Magazine, Gold Star, Spencer, James Ward, Boxer, and for putting Fraser on the show, and also Mikey Talon. Mikey Talon, one of the most promising upcoming prospects, flyweight in world boxing, having his 13th fight. He'll be on around 5:30, 6 o'clock, tune in, and yeah, it's got to be a busy night.
There is no doubt it is an absolutely stacked card coming on April 11th. Just a quick one about camp. Was it more technical or mental that you worked on in this camp? Because I understand that, I think it's been alluded to, maybe no guarantees, but the camp Fraser had before the fight against TKV wasn't without his issues.
I can't talk about what's gone on and what's before. All like Fraser said to me, he said to me like 4 or 5 weeks in, or 3 weeks in, or what do you think of that fight? And I said, I've never watched your fight, Fraser. You've never been on my radar. You're nobody that I really want to think. I only watch fighters that are on my fighters' radars. I did go away and watch the Fabio Wardley one. I thought he won that. I agreed with Foster's scorecard. And I watched a couple of others since, but that was about it. And I just felt with Fraser there's a lot of potential, but that question is very, what's first? Is it the human or the athlete? And it's balancing both of them. As we all know, people like a carrot and people like a stick. And it's getting to know your fighter, and I've managed to get to know him, managed to understand. And there's just a switch. It happened around 6 weeks ago in the gym, and we were doing a session, and it was just a bit of reverse psychology, and I flicked the switch, and I could just see the light bulb moment, people say, and he got it, and with that then, we've just been transcending forward, going on the spar. He sparred today, ready, everything in place. We're on it, and we're ready to rock and roll on Saturday night.
So in other words, Big Fraser is back. Fraser, just to finish off, how does this fight go on Saturday?
A bit like Justice said, you know, I'm not here to make predictions. The only thing I can tell you is this: I prepared so well, I've worked so hard, and I'll be leaving that ring with my hand raised. Like I say, this is going to be a great fight. I predict that we'll steal the show, and I predict this is my moment.
Thank you very much, guys. And from one heavyweight clash to another, we now move to the second fight of our live Netflix card, a British heavyweight title showdown with the storied Lonsdale belt up for grabs as champion Jamie TKV defends the crown he claimed in November. He's up against the powerful Richard Riakporhe. Ben, I'm going to start with you again. You're meant to go in against someone with serious power and experience. Do you believe that this is the night that Jamie proves he belongs at this top level?
I represent both Richard and Jamie. Richard was the first fighter I ever signed. I know they've stuck me on this side. It's a massive fight. Look, it's a massive fight for both of them. I think for Richard, a lot of people are asking, should he have always been a heavyweight? He's a 6'5", 6'6" guy with a massive frame that got to world title contention in the cruiserweight division, and I never felt like he was comfortable. I never felt like he was enjoying it. I never felt like he was comfortable during fight weeks. I never felt like he was his true potential, and he has to step up now. He's still only 2 fights in to the heavyweight division, so it's a massive moment for him and for Jamie, who debuted with us. A guy that everyone writ off. I mean, you talk about what Fraser just said. This guy lost after a few fights with me, and people were telling me, why are you still putting him on the card? The broadcasters were trying to take him off. And he believed in himself, he turned it around, and he came back again and again and again. Then got robbed against David Adelaide, and then went and, in a great fight with Fraser, went and won a fight that no one thought that he could win. He is a genuine British success story, a guy that has come from absolutely nothing, with no favours, with nothing behind him, and through sheer hard work and belief and dedication, he's become the British champion, and now he's in major fights, and he's a major force to be reckoned with. So it's a great clash of styles. 2 guys going in very, very confident, and 2 guys that, if they win on Saturday night, wow, they change their life forever.
No doubt that. This is why we love boxing so much, and that storied Lonsdale belt has been the jump-off point for many a great career. Now, Richard, we've seen you now twice at heavyweight. It's scary how you used to make cruiserweight. I can't genuinely believe it. How does it feel both physically and mentally now you've left the cruiserweight division, you're up at heavyweight?
Honestly, it feels like a cheat code. You know, the things I used to go through as a cruiserweight, fight week, I was always just wishing that the weigh-in day comes closer and closer. And as soon as I weigh in, my whole mood changes. You know, Duncan has always been around me. He's always noticed the change in me, and now it's different. I think heavyweights will never understand how it is to make weight, to cut weight. It's torture, honestly. It affects everything, the hormones, mentality, mood. But yeah, I feel much happier now that I can eat what I want, but I don't really eat what I want. Everything is healthy anyway. But yeah, life is good now.
No junk food. Do you feel like you have a bit more freedom? You know, not just in terms of what you can eat, but just in your performances?
You know what, I just realized something. I have a gift for Jamie.
Yeah?
TKV. Yeah.
Yeah?
Give me 1 second.
It's even wrapped up. What could this be? What could it be? Do we need security, or is it a nice present? Let's see what it is. I can feel the tension in the room now.
You know what, it might be a cigar. Oh.
What have we got there? Rich, what you got him?
All I can say is something that's going to make him look good even after the fight.
Is that your new brand?
Is it concealer or what?
Is that your new brand?
I think it's baby oil, I think.
It's not that kind of press conference.
He rubs that before he does them shoots. You see it?
Is it called?
It ain't that kind of press conference.
But sorry, I got distracted there. I just realised. But yeah,
do you feel more free at this weight? Not just in terms of what you can eat, but your performances, your stamina, your power.
Yeah, like I said, naturally I was always a bigger guy. Cruiserweight, I used to run hours just to make the weight, and it got to the point where my body got too tight, and I couldn't do no more. It was nearly impossible doing hot baths, like on the weigh-in day. It was getting ridiculous. I wasn't recovering really well during camps. So even though I trained hard, I wasn't replenishing and nourishing my body. So now everything is official, and everybody's been saying the same thing. You should have been heavyweight from a long time ago. You look good. You look good, and this is what you want to be hearing.
So this is a huge stage, an opportunity. You're fighting for the British heavyweight title against a proven operator. You feel ready for this moment? Is this exactly the type of test that you wanted at this stage of your heavyweight career?
Yeah, I think it's just a major opportunity. I think this will be the first ever highest televised British title fight in the history of boxing, and I'm happy that I get to be a part of that. You know, we got some champs over there, some legends, Lennox Lewis, David Hay. They all won this title. And I think now, I think about legacy. You know, obviously the money's great and being on stage is great, but, you know, legacy is very important, where people talk about you in a good way when you're not in the room. You know, this is what me and my family, this is what we care about a lot. So, yeah, it's great to be a part of it.
Well, hopefully that Lonsdale belt is the start of something great at heavyweight. Give us a quick prediction. I know fighters don't love doing it, but how do you see this one going? You've already given him something that's going to make him feel better, so talk to me.
Oh yeah, and big respect to Jamie TKV. A lot of people don't know, I've known Jamie for a very long time. There's no bad blood. I'm not going to sit here and fabricate any like bad blood or do some acting. Like, it's all love, and until we get in the ring, you know, it's going to be love. And when we get out of the ring, God willing, healthy, it's still going to be love. And but yeah, it's just a win by any means necessary. This is what I do. People know how I am when I get into the ring. I'm a different person, and that's it. And you're going to be entertained. The fight is going to be a good fight. I think we're going to steal the show, honestly. So tune into the fight.
Thank you very much, Richard. Now, Courtney, manager of Jamie TKV. From a managerial standpoint, how big a moment is this for Jamie on the Ring magazine card, on Netflix, and up against a big name
like Richard Riakporhe?
Yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't get any bigger than this. Like what Ben Shalom said, when we brought Jamie to Ben, they essentially took a punt. He wasn't touted, but we knew Jamie was a phenomenal talent. Barry Smith knew he was a phenomenal talent, as it did Ben Davidson, and he's been the underdog his whole career. He was the underdog coming into the Fraser fight. He's won that, even though he's the British champ. Bookie's probably making him the underdog. But Jamie's got self-belief. He's a phenomenal fighter. He can box, he can scrap, he can fight on the inside. And he's going to put on a fantastic performance come Saturday night.
Thank you very much. Now, JB, you're from just down the road from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium where you'll be fighting on Saturday. As a proud Tottenham man, how special will it be defending that British title on home turf in a stadium in front of people that have followed your journey from day one?
A very special moment, doing it in my home ground, you know, like a 10-minute walk. I live 10 minutes from the stadium. I went to school literally across the stadium, so I saw that stadium every day for 5 years in secondary school. So, and that's the area that I grew up in. Yeah, no, it's a special moment. There's going to be a lot of people there watching me for the first time. So I've got to put in a performance, but it can't get better than this, man. It's set up perfectly, if I'm honest, man.
Did your win over Fraser Clark shift your mindset at all, and did it reevaluate where you think your ceiling is as a heavyweight? You've mentioned some of those doubters.
I mean, I know my level. You know, I know my level. And beating Clark was more of a told you so rather than, you know, I just did it. You know what I'm saying? I knew I could beat Clark, which is why we take this fight. This is why I was calling him out for some years, because I knew I could beat him. So I know my capabilities, I know where I can get to. So, yeah, it wasn't a surprise to me. It's not, I know there's more to do, and where I can go is bigger than this.
We all know that Richard brings serious power from his cruiserweight days. Do you think, number one, that power transfers up to heavyweight? And do you think you're probably the most natural heavyweight he's fought so far, and he's going to be in for a shot?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I believe it's not going to be the easiest night for Richard, just because I know how I've prepared, and I know how I'm going to come into that fight. So, yes, he's fighting for the British heavyweight title, so I guess it is his real first heavyweight fight. Yeah.
Do you think that size and that physicality and understanding the weight, and you could almost old man him out of that fight in terms of your experience in the division?
I mean, in a way, Richard's got to get used to the weight too. You know, obviously, it's only been a year since he's been, I think, sitting at a heavyweight weight. And he's got to get used to fighting at that weight. So, look, we're doing 12 rounds. We're gonna wait and see on Saturday how it goes, to be honest. Yeah.
No prediction, just wait and see?
To be honest, just wait and see, man. I think it'll be a good fight. It'll be the fight of the night, if I'm honest with you.
A fight of the night that might steal the show. Thank you, everyone on this top table. That brings to a close the first of this evening's press conference. Up next, we're going to have Conor Benn and Regis Prograis. But before we move on, let's invite the fighters forward for their first official face-offs.
Let's have the fighters face off at this time, competing Saturday live worldwide on Netflix in a 10-round heavyweight contest. It's Justice Huni versus Fraser Big Fraser Clark.
And there it is as they prepare for their fight on Saturday night. You see Fraser Clark there, Justice Huni. We heard this described as a fight with two guys who have a lot to prove, both coming off losses. What did you take away from what they said there?
They both learnt their lessons, and they want to prove to the world that they're back. You know, Huni was very, very unlucky. Obviously, if you speak to him and his team, he was winning that fight against the current world champion. So he knows he was that close to beating someone who's proved himself against Joseph Parker. So he wants to right the wrongs of the past and prove that he's back.
That fight was Fabio Wardley. As we get ready for our second face-off, we'll break this down in just a minute, but we're going to get it back over to the stage.
Competing Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest for the British Heavyweight Championship, live worldwide on Netflix. It's the challenger, Richard the Midnight Train Riakporhe versus the defending champion, Jamie TKV.
And there we go. We see TKV, Richard Riakporhe. TKV called on this stage a great British success story, the perennial underdog, if you will, and taking on Richard Riakporhe. And I was going to ask you this, David. We talked a little bit about this before. He's making that jump from cruiser to heavy. Richard saying he feels like he's in heaven. It was impossible to make weight at cruiser. How do you think that's going to be an advantage for him?
If you just look at the size of him, you would never think Riakporhe was the one moving up in weight.
Right.
He's an absolute beast. His shoulders, his arms, he's a big man. And the fact he got down to 90 kilograms, 14 stone 4, I do not know how he did it, but it shows a sort of the mindset and fortitude to strain his body down to that weight. Unfortunately, he never picked up a world title, came close, but no cigar for him, so he's going to want to do one better at heavyweight, at his natural weight.
And that bout is for the British heavyweight title. TKV playing the underdog role, talking a lot about how people don't see him coming and don't care. Do you think that can be an advantage for him on Saturday?
A big advantage for him because, people don't think that much of him. That's what he believed. And when he believes that, he wants to prove that. He wants to prove that to the people that, yeah, he's better than he is. And he's been doing that. He's been winning a lot of surprising fights which people didn't think he was going to win.
Riakporhe has 15 KOs in his last 19 wins. Do you think that his power will be the single biggest factor, Lennox?
It should be. I think the size will be his factor, the fact that he's big. And, a lot of people said he doesn't look that big, but if they look at his legs are skinny. So he probably was doing a lot of work on his legs to get his weight up a little bit. But I think there's going to be it's good for him to be in heavyweight. There's no reason why he should, starve himself to make light heavyweight.
We didn't see a lot of bravado on this stage from either of the fights.
It was very respectful. Everybody seemed to know each other from the amateurs. Clark and Huni knew each other already. There's a lot of history between all the fighters, so we didn't get any pushing and pulling today.
Yeah.
It was
we got a baby oil moment, which
that was the most random one ever. I didn't know what that was about, but he's gave him some baby oil to oil himself up. Okay.
We were guessing here that maybe it was concealer on the stage, thinking that would have been right. He's going to be so banged up, he's going to need concealer. But it was, in fact, baby oil. I do want to mention Fraser Clark, though, when we talk about expectations. Yeah. He mentioned it as well. He came in with high expectations, a function of winning a bronze medal at the Olympics. Why do you think, Lennox, his fighting hasn't translated quite yet at the pro level?
Well, I think he realizes as well, boxers that train at home can't really gain too much. You have to go away. You have to feel hungry. You have to train with a trainer that you're learning something every day. And I think, this new trainer for him, he wants to make a spectacle and go out there and win with his new trainer.
Yeah, Clark has been in the Amateur Boxing Association infrastructure for a couple of cycles, for 8 years, a long time for a fighter to be involved in that. And he hasn't been able to convert his professional style yet. And obviously he got a bronze medal at the Olympic Games, which is an amazing achievement. I never achieved that. but as a professional, he hasn't been able to find his flow. This is a great opportunity against someone who's proven himself at the highest level to show that he deserves to be up there, and he wants a challenge for world title soon.
We're looking at Justice Huni as well, and we heard Josh hit on it just a little bit. Not only has Justice not fought, coming off a loss, but hasn't fought in 10 months, but he lost his trainer. Not only did he lose his trainer, Ken Fui, in the gym, he's the one that tried to perform CPR to save him. When you're going through personal grief and loss like that, how much of a force multiplier can that be in terms of motivation to win, Lennox?
Well, he wants to win this fight for his trainer because, he feels bad at what happens, and he feels that this will, make him come and prove himself and get better because he's doing it for somebody. So having a fight and winning for his trainer is the next mission for him. That's what he wants to do.
Apart from the emotional side, though, you haven't fought in 10 months, and now you've got a new trainer. What are some of the wrinkles that come along with that, David?
We find out in the first round, there's so many intangibles you can't deal with in the lead up to a fight. I remember Buster Douglas, before he fought Mike Tyson, his mother passed away very close to the fight, and he managed to pull off the unthinkable. He gave Mike Tyson his first loss. So it works one way and it works another way. Different fighters handle it in a different way. He's a professional. He hasn't had that many fights, but he had a long, extensive international amateur career where he was fighting in multiple tournaments all over the world. So he's experienced. He knows how to do it. And if you see him, he's a smaller heavyweight. He's not the big guy. You saw him up there. He's about 6'1". He's not a big guy, so he has to have additional skills. He has to have good footwork, good head movement. He can't rely on his size. So skill-wise, I believe he's more skilled than Clark, and he's going to need to prove it. I think he's probably the favourite going into this fight. The way he was able to deal with Wardley, it showed to me he was in full control until that one shot and it was over. So if he can get back to that flavour, he should win this fight, in my opinion.
Do you agree with the fact that Huni, when he was asked about the Wardley fight and the fact that he was leading until that 10th round TKO, do you believe him when he says it was a win-win situation for him? What do you glean from something like that when really one mistake is what cost you?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how you look at it. For him, he can look at it a certain way. You can't, when he's in the fight, he can't look at it that way. He has to look at it a different way. So that's what I take from it.
So that was your biggest takeaway from then. Of course, we're still getting ready for two of our co-main events to show up. The fighters are on their way as we get ready here. A huge event on Netflix. By the way, can we take a moment to say wow for Netflix? We heard the guys on the stage repeat this. This is such a huge moment for boxing, in particular for British boxing. They're all saying they can really make a name for themselves on Saturday night, and certainly it's going to be huge. It will be the most watched British title heavyweight competition in history, and it's all coming to you globally from here in London. Let's talk about the co-main event, not the main event, but we're talking about Regis Prograis taking on Conor Benn. Conor Benn, anybody that knows anything about boxing knows his father, Nigel Benn. And there's been a lot of conversation, even from his own trainer, that early on in his career, everybody thought he got what he got and the attention he got because of his father. But that has changed. What have you seen from Conor over the last couple of years that tells you this is the reason this man is now selling out these giant arenas and stadiums?
A lot of improvement. For me, he reminds me of his dad. He's very excited in the ring. He's hyped, and he's going out there. He's talking the talk and walking the walk. And because of that, he's become very popular with the fans, and fans love to see that type of fight out there. And I think for him, he's glad that he's in this position. This is the position he wants to be in. He wants to be a big-time fighter. He wants to make his own decisions, and he wants to go in there and win and be a champion.
We've got some pictures of them. Again, this was all part of the pre-fight festivities, if you will, being treated like a co-main up on top of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. These views are absolutely epic. When you consider Regis Prograis, David, who he's going to be fighting, a guy who's won a couple of times the championship title belt, but is a little, what we would call in the States, long in the tooth for a boxer. What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for Regis facing Conor Benn? He's
going to have to deal with the youth. There's something about that young energy, the energy that hasn't had the multiple injuries, hasn't had the long training camps. He doesn't have the personal issues like someone who's a bit older. So he's going to need to really, Regis Prograis, he's experienced, but he's going to need to counteract the youth by using his feet, using his brain, and try not to engage too much too early, because Ben is so explosive. when he lets his hands go, when he gets his opponent hurt, he really puts clusters of punches together. And if you're an older fighter, you know, he's lost to Devin Haney, Catterall, Taylor, all world undisputed champions. So he's only lost to the very best. But that was a little while ago. And, you know, he's been knocked down in 2 of his last 3 fights. He's going to need to do something. There's been a little bit of whispers about his training camp maybe not going the greatest it could have gone. So it seems like it's against him, and he's fighting on foreign soil.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that great for him. And Ben's looking, obviously his last fight is a career best performance. You know, stadium fight, fighting someone who was a middleweight. So it's a tough. Ben's really proven himself to the British fans, and he wants to do it again against, you know, a former world champion.
I know this is boxing, but you just threw me a lob when you mentioned Conor Benn and the great rivalry that we all know about with Chris Eubank Jr. In fact, here's how it played out the last year.
Tottenham Stadium is my home.
The atmosphere, spine-tingling.
The emotions for the first Eubank fight were so high. You could hear a needle drop in the room. Family legacy, it was a 30-year rivalry.
Look at the dads watching on.
It was our own rivalry.
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank Jr.
You learned a lot from me. You come back stronger.
It was a fight and a night for the ages.
The first fight, he just went out there having a war. That wasn't real Conor. He was throwing punches from South Africa, from Germany, Australia, all over the place.
Went back and I licked my wounds. It wasn't just about the loss, it was about going back and changing and adapting and putting in the hard work when nobody's looking.
What has he learned? What will he do differently tonight? He looks a different Conor Benn.
The second fight, then you saw the best of Conor.
I was a lot more controlled in terms of, you know, my style.
Conor Benn boxing the fight of his life.
He boxed his head off. He couldn't understand. He couldn't deal with Conor.
Unbelievable scenes here in Tottenham. Down for the second time. Conor Benn, you have rocked Tottenham Hotspur.
This is the end of the Ben Eubank saga. Not bad for 2 silver spoon kids, eh?
This is the resurrection of my career. A resurrection of the Ben era.
Fair to say, Lennox, that you could describe that first fight, at least from Conor's perspective, as chaos, and then he mentioned in that rematch a lot of control. What do you make of him as a fighter after what you saw in that rematch? I
thought he's an intelligent fighter because he came back, he looked at all of his mistakes, he improved on them, and came back coming in with that mental space that he wanted to be a champion, he wants to win, and you could see his face. He was so determined to win this fight that he went out there and he did do it.
You can tell a lot about a fighter with how they respond to their first defeat. Some fighters never fight again, some fighters seem to shell of themselves, but he seemed to have really raised the game. He seemed to have understood what went wrong and came back, and obviously it worked. Whatever he did in training, whatever adjustments were made, were clear to see.
Very quickly, he won that Eubank fight at 160, fought both of those fights at 160, now down to 150 for this bout. Any impact at all that you think that could have?
I don't think it should have that much of effect because it's not that much weight. I think he loses weight well. It looks well on him. It doesn't look weak or it doesn't affect him in any way. So.
But more difficult for Regis, who's trying to come up.
Yes.
Yeah, Regis is a naturally smaller man, and he's having to put on this weight fighting someone at 150 who's coming down from 160. So he's at a disadvantage physically. He has the experience. He's been a world champion. Ben hasn't. He's fought world champions and lost world champions. Always gave a great account of himself. Very slick fighter, southpaw, sharp. But the youth, there's something about the youth, that young, hungry. You saw it in the fight against Chris Eubank. he was ravenous. He just kept coming. He just kept pushing the pace. It looked like an unrealistic pace that he set for himself, that he couldn't maintain it for 12 rounds, but he did.
So youth not wasted on the young when it comes to boxing. For his part, Conor Benn saying, I'm looking forward to beating that old geezer. Here's Regis Prograis. All right. Well, if we're going to make an announcement, we certainly have to bring in a Hall of Famer to do it. So for now, because it looks like our fighters are ready, we turn it over to Hall of Fame Master of Ceremonies, Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the final press conference for a special night, a special attraction this Saturday night, April 11th, and it's all live from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, London, England. The Clash of Giants, Fury versus Makhmudov, live worldwide on Netflix. It's a presentation of Ring Magazine and Netflix. And there are a few tickets remaining, so I advise you, if you want to come to the fight, go to Ticketmaster.com and get your seats. We expect a sellout. So, ladies and gentlemen, seated behind me, we have our panel for this very special press conference, the CEO of Ring Magazine, Mr. Rick Reno, head coach and trainer for Regis Prograis, Kay Karoma, the former two-time world champion from the Boxing Hall of Fame, Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer. Head trainer to Conor Benn, Mr. Tony Sims, and the manager of Team Benn, Keith Connolly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a special contest indeed before our main event Saturday night. 10 rounds of boxing in the super welterweight division. Let's meet the fighters and bring them to the stage at this time. First, he comes to us from New Orleans, Louisiana, USA. In his 33 professional fights, he has 30 victories, and 24 of those wins come by way of knockout. He is the former light welterweight champion of the world, the Southern Southpaw, Regis Prograis. And at this time, let's bring his opponent to the stage. His professional record stands at 24 victories, 14 wins by knockout, only one defeat, and that defeat has been avenged, making him one of the few fighters in the world today that can say he has defeated every man he's ever faced in the ring. A 2025 Fighter of the Year candidate, he is Conor the Destroyer Benn. Here they are, Regis Prograis, Conor Benn. Let's go to our host, the man with the most, Mr. Josh Denzel.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome back, everyone, as we move into the second of this evening's press conferences. Now to our co-main event, a fascinating clash of styles and experience and ambition. On one side, a rising welterweight contender, hungry to make another statement on the world stage. On the other side, a former two-time world champion stepping into a new weight division, still with plenty to prove. Ben says every fight is personal. Regis says this is levels, but something has to give. So before we hear directly from the fighters themselves, please, for an expert assessment of this matchup, welcome CEO of Ring Magazine, Rick Reno.
Thank you. I mean, this is an intriguing match. I mean, Conor had a fantastic year. He's going into his third stadium fight. He's got a new chapter, new team on the promotional end with Zuffa. Since the start of his career, all he's heard is the name Eubank Revolving. That's been put to bed. and now he's marching down back to his natural weight in the hunt for a world title shot. He's the mandatory, but before he gets there, he's got a determined guy in front of him in Regis Prograis, former unified world champion. And, you know, for Regis, massive opportunity. It's like a lottery ticket landed on his lap. A stadium fight against a British superstar and on Netflix. You can't get any bigger than that. But a lottery ticket is no good unless you cash it, and he wants to cash it in. You know, I expect fireworks in this fight early on. Conor's made it clear from the start. He wants to go in, get a knockout in the early rounds. Regis is a guy that likes to mix it up a little bit. So, you know, it's one of those fights where I tell people, don't blink, don't leave your seat. The punches are going to fly early.
Rick, co-main event on a huge Netflix card, on a Ring Magazine card, live on Netflix. What's a moment like this? What does it do in terms of kind of legacy and future opportunities for both fighters?
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear you.
This fight sits as a co-main event on a huge Ring Magazine card live on Netflix. What does a fight like this do for both fighters in terms of legacy and opportunities?
I mean, it's a huge moment. There's going to be a massive audience in the millions. You know, for Conor, it's to bring his name up even bigger than it already is. I mean, he's an established star right now in the sport. For Regis, I mean, he pulls off a big upset win. It's going to be watched by millions. He puts himself right in line of these world title opportunities in a very, very loaded welterweight division.
Thank you, Rick. Now, let's hear from the team of one of the most accomplished fighters on this card, who is a former two-time world champion, one of the most respected names of his generation. We're going to start off by talking to his trainer, Kay Carome. Now, talk to me, why was Conor Benn the right opponent for your man at this time?
I mean, I feel like Conor is Regis. You know, Regis was at one point Conor, you know, trying to make his name. Everybody was doubting him. Nobody knew him. And so Conor's doing the same thing. So I feel like, you know, it's a great matchup between them two. Same height, same build. They both are explosive. They know when to fight. They bring out the crowd, you know, and I think Regis has something to prove and Conor has something to prove. And I think this is a great fight for both of them.
This fight is happening above Regis' world title weight at 140. How comfortable are you with him operating at this level?
I think I'm very comfortable with it. I mean, in the gym that we come from, you know, Regis has been challenging himself a lot with the welterweights and some of the lightweights and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of even. Regis is going up, Conor's coming down. It's who's the best man that night, you know?
We'll find out who the best man on the night is. Now, Regis, I want to talk to you. You've done some of your best work at 140, and this bout takes place at 150, and I want you to speak for yourself. How has that influenced your preparation, and what difference do you feel at this weight?
Really, so when they called me about it, I was just happy about it just because I already wanted to go up anyway. So really, right after my fight with Jojo, I started lifting weights. I got on the weights and stuff like that anyway. My plan was to go up anyway. So when they called me about it, I was just like, yeah, of course, let's do it.
You've been quite outspoken, saying that Conor is living off his dad Nigel's name, and especially after that high-profile win over Chris Eubank Jr. Do you still stand by that view?
Do I still what?
Do you stand by that view? Do you stand on it?
I mean, listen, I don't want to say nothing bad about him. Like I said, like Kay was saying, Conor's me coming up. You know, Conor is just like I was that guy coming up, and you know, he's making a name for himself. So you know, he's taking his name, and he's trying to do something with it. You know, so for me, I respect him, and I don't got nothing bad to say about him.
Listen, this is a press conference, and if you don't stir the pot, I'm gonna have to stir the pot. So
stir it. Go ahead, stir it. Look, they ain't paying me enough, right? So y'all can stir the shit all y'all want. I know I said I ain't gonna click out, but y'all not paying me to promote and all that shit. So look, I ain't gotta go talk shit and all that. Like, Conor, you getting paid? You talk the shit. I ain't gotta talk shit. Go ahead.
I'm not going to say anything that you haven't said. I'm just going to mention that you said Conor wasn't a world-class fighter. Do you still actually believe there is a golfing class? You've had that experience. You've won those world titles.
I mean, it's like this. I just feel like I'm not going to say he's not world-class. He hasn't proven himself world-class yet. You know, I did. I've been number one in the world twice already. I've been a world champion twice already. So I've been to that top. I'm not going to say he's not, but he hasn't been yet. That's all.
Okay. It's all very friendly up here. You've made the trip to England twice in the past, unsuccessfully. You didn't get the result either time, but what have you learned from those experiences fighting in front of those British boxing fight fans. And how are you confident that this fight at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on April the 11th ends differently?
I mean, for me, as far as coming with the British fans are great, bro. Like, I don't have no problem fighting in front of British fans because they love boxing. So I feel like it's not my country, but at the same time, it is. I won't say it's my country, it's not my home, but at the same time, they embrace boxing just like they love us. So I'm cool with it.
We've spoken to a few people on this stage about the enormity, the size of this Ring Magazine card on Netflix, you know, going out to tens, hundreds of millions of homes across the world. Do you understand the scale of that opportunity and getting the win? What do you want next?
After this, I mean, I feel like it'll be whatever I want. You know, I can say whatever I want. I can call anybody who I want and tell them whatever I want. After a fight like this, like, all right, I don't have the people won't have to come to me with opportunities. I'll come to them, and that's how it'll be.
Seeing as everyone's being very nice on this stage, just say some nice things about Conor. What does he do well that you are going to have to deal with on Fight Night?
I don't got nothing to say bad or good. I mean, look, we're going to fight Saturday, and that's it. That's all it's going to be, you know?
We know Conor fights with a ferocious pace. You know, last time out it was a bit more measured, but we know that he has that Benn DNA in him. You got what it takes to nullify that, to neutralize it?
I mean, of course, bro. I told you I've been at the top twice. I've been a world champion twice already. Of course, I wouldn't take this fight if I don't believe I can win it.
There's been some claims that this camp hasn't gone as well, you know, from the world's media, those sat in attendance, that you're injured. You know, would like to put paid to some of those rumors. What version?
Not injured, bro. Listen, in camp, things happen. You're not gonna be 100% in camp, but I pushed past it. I'm not injured. Everything is fine. I don't even know where they came from, but whatever. I'm good. I'm fighting on Saturday.
You're fighting on Saturday. You're gonna be at 100%.
100%. I'm fighting on. I'm good. 100%. I'm fighting on Saturday. 100%. Yes.
This run, at this age, at this stage of your career, you still believe you can climb to the top again and become three-time world champion?
Of course, yeah. I mean, like I said, bro, I wouldn't even be here. If I didn't believe myself, I wouldn't even came. I wouldn't even took the fight. I wouldn't even come over here if I didn't believe myself. I fully believe myself. I do feel like I'm actually getting better. But, you know, we'll see, sadly.
Regis Prograis, everybody. Now, what of the man opposing you on Saturday night, Britain's most talked about fighter, I would say, a welterweight contender, intent on reaching the very, very top, Conor Benn. But I'm going to start off with your dad, Nigel. Nigel is one of the most explosive fighters of his generation, a two-weight world champion, a man who was at the heart of one of Britain's biggest boxing rivalries. So, Nigel, you know better than anybody what it takes to carry that Benn name into a big fight. How proud are you of the way that Conor has carried himself in these times?
Well, when Conor first started off, I thought he might, just might scrape through being Southern Area champion. But I've watched him progress. Even the way that he trains is like 10 times better than what I ever done. Even at when I was world champion, he just brought it to another level. When I watch him train, I've never in my entire life seen anyone train like my son. He lives for boxing.
Regis had said, he's being very nice now, but he had said that this is levels and that he's been at the top and Conor's still trying to get there. How would you respond to that?
Well, you know what? Conor's continued to grow. We saw the first fight with Eubanks. He went in there to try and take his head off. Didn't work to plan. And then we boxed to his ability, what he's capable of doing. And he made the fight so easy. And we still haven't seen the best of Conor. And watching him now, how I see him back down at welterweight, and everyone said he's going to struggle at the weight. He is more stronger now and faster being at his normal weight. I just can't wait for him to fight.
How good is it to see the levels in which you thought he might struggle to become a Southern Area? Now he's filling out stadiums back to back on huge ring cards. You know, he's finishing off.
I know his capability. I know Conor's capability, and I honestly believe in my heart that he can be undisputed welterweight champion. I believe that. I can believe he can beat Ryan Garcia. I believe that he can beat Crocker as well. I believe Conor's got the tools to do it. And we ain't seen the best of Conor yet. To me, he's only just starting now.
Well, if he's just starting now, he's already come a long, long way. Now to speak to Tony Sims, trainer of Conor Benn, a man who's been instrumental in Conor's development from prospect now to contender. Regis is a two-time world champion, experienced, dangerous, proven at world level. What are the biggest challenges that this man brings?
Yeah, like you say, he's been 2-time world champion. You know, he's a great fighter. He's boxed over here a couple of times, and I was at them shows, and you know, it's a good test for Conor at this stage of his career, and obviously Conor's mandatory challenger for Ryan Garcia, so he needs these sort of challenges, and you know, the camp's gone really well, and I'm really happy he's down at welterweight, at his natural weight, and I think it's going to be a great fight Saturday night.
It's going to be a fantastic fight, two very, very experienced and elite operators. What does Conor have to do to deal with that experience that Regis brings?
Well, you know, I believe Conor's a world-class fighter himself, and obviously I believe that he's got the tools to beat Regis, and you know, the sparring's gone really well, and he's looked fantastic in the gym, and I just believe Saturday night he's going to be victorious.
No doubt. Now, Conor, it's time. Let you speak for yourself. Don't let everyone else do the speaking for you.
Yeah.
In the second fight against Chris Eubank Jr., we saw a more patient, measured, disciplined side to you. You boxed to a clear plan and showed a lot of maturity. I think you surprised a few people there. Should fans see that same approach, or are we going to get that ferocious Ben that we've seen earlier on in your career?
Yeah, do you know what? I had to go back and lick my wounds. I was, you know, I went back, I cried after the first Eubank loss. I come back, lick my wounds, and come back better. You know, it's only a loss if you let it beat you. I had to change, I had to adapt, I had to learn, I had to grow, I had to become a better fighter to beat Eubank and not fight the same kind of fight. And that was what I'd done. And as for this fight, you're going to get the old welterweight Ben back. You know, the performances with Algieri, Van Heerden, Samuel Vargas, they were more experienced, all of them. Been in with Virgil Ortiz, been in with, you know, Amir Khan, been in with Errol Spence. You know, so everyone I fight now will have more experience on me. That's inevitable, you know. But ultimately, I prepare hard and I work so hard, even to get this weight down. You know, and walking around at 175 for the past 2-3 years, to fight Eubank, you know, to drop back down. You know, a lot of people said I couldn't do it. Well, I've done it. You know, a lot of people say you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, watch me, I'll do it.
Amen.
Well, I can't wait to watch it. And if we're getting that version of Conor Ben, the Netflix viewers are going to be in for an absolute treat.
It's the way I've been most dangerous at my whole career. You know, ultimately, the Eubank fight was an exception to the rule. I could not give the public any other fight than the Eubank fights. And I still don't think even winning a world title will trump the victory over Eubank. I still don't think winning a world title will beat the fight of the year. For me, the first fight was the best fight. It was the most enjoyable fight. But it's now time for me to come back down to my natural weight. People say I can't do it. I've done it. And get that world title and solidify my legacy. But ultimately, Regis is my world title shot. He is in the way of my world title. You know, it was the first name that was mentioned to me, and it was straight away, yeah, of course, no problem. When? 6 weeks? No problem. I'll be ready.
There was never any doubt.
No doubt.
Listen, talking of that natural weight and you feeling ferocious, it has been 4 years since your last knockout victory. You were seconds away from getting one against Chris Eubank Jr. Does that drive you? Does that go into your mindset? I know how you think. You're a violent man in the nicest possible way.
In the nicest possible way, I'm extremely violent and dangerous. But ultimately, for me, you got to remember, I've been competing at a weight that's not my weight for the past 2-3 years. You know, fighting at 154, fighting at 160. It's not my weight. These are big guys that I've been mixing it with. So for me to fight somebody my own size for a change, it's exciting. And at the weight I'm most dangerous.
Talking to somebody your own size, where does Regis Prograis rank in terms of kind of name, value, his achievements? Is he the most accomplished boxer you faced?
I don't know. Algieri is a world champion. I believe Van Heerden was a world champion. Eubank interim champion at middleweight. You know, Eubank had a lot of knockouts on his resume at middleweight. But Regis presents different tests. You know, and as fighters, we love challenges. I love challenging myself against the best fighters there are. You know, but if it's a name that is mentioned to me, of course, no problem, I'll fight him any day of the week, twice on Sunday. So when they mentioned Regis, I said, yeah, no problem, instantly. You know, ultimately, I'm mandatory for Garcia for the WBC world title.
It was a matter of, do I wait to fight Garcia or do I fight Regis in between? You know, and that's a risk I'm willing to run. You know, I believe I win convincingly. Yes, he is world level. Yes, he has accomplished a lot in the game. But anyone I fight moving forward will be more accomplished, will have achieved more, will be more experienced. And it's my job to go in there and prove that I am at that level, which I will do without a shadow of a doubt in my mind.
How much does that motivate you, that idea that you can fight those guys like Garcia with a WBC welterweight champion on big stages like this? Because I know you like the limelight, you like the violence.
I mean, listen, a lot of people have been asking me about Garcia. A lot of people have been asking me about the future. That future doesn't happen unless I handle business on Saturday. So everyone asking me about Garcia and mandatory, and yes, that's a mega fight. Yes, it's a monstrous fight. Yes, I believe I take care of Garcia. But I've got my hands full on Saturday, and I believe I'm going to take care of Regis. Without a shadow of a doubt. And as a fighter, you have to have that confidence. But to go up to middleweight and do what I've done for the past 2 years, to come back down, you know, for me, it fills me with nothing but confidence.
What does Conor Benn do that Regis Prograis can't handle?
I mean, I'm extremely spiteful. You know, I'm a fast starter. I'm just come out from the get-go and really impose myself. And listen, if I see an opportunity to close the show early, I'm going to close the show. If I see an opportunity, I'm going to take it. That's no offence to Regis. That's no disrespect to Regis. It's the way I fight. And if I see an opportunity, if I see the legs go, if I see a little chink in the armour, I'm going to exploit it.
Listen, it's going to be a fantastic fight. We've had a lot of fighters up here saying they're going to steal the show, but this one definitely is in with a chance. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about Eddie Hearn and your professional split from Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. What would you say to fans that feel you could deal with a situation but perhaps been handled differently? How important is it for you now to kind of just focus on the boxing? So we'll get this out of the way.
There's a lot of noise, and there has been a lot of noise throughout my career. Ultimately, I love Eddie. Period. Point blank. You know, irrelevant of what's been said, irrelevant of all the noise, irrelevant of the back and forth. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for the noise. I've got love for Eddie. You know, and I know you're smirking.
I love it because I feel like
I know
I'm
you're
in the middle.
smirking, but it comes with maturity. It comes with age. You know, I've done what's best for me and my family. I've secured my family's future.
Amen.
That for me is more important
That's right.
than anything else on the planet, and any man can respect that. You know, ultimately I've got love for the man, and you know, God willing, when this is all said and done, we can sit down and have a chat together. My door's open. You know, I have no ill feeling towards Eddie, Matchroom, Barry. I've got love for the whole team. I've got love for the family. But ultimately, this is about securing my family's legacy,
right.
Solidifying my legacy, and making sure my kids go in private school.
Understandable, and boxing is a dangerous game. It's a hard game, and you do have to.
I know firsthand it's a dangerous game. I know firsthand. I've seen it. You know, ultimately, my job is to give my family the best life possible, and now I'm gonna do. Sure as hell gonna do.
Yes.
And I'm doing.
I remember we spoke to you in the build-up to the Eubank Junior fight, and I said to you, I feel like this version of Conor Benn is a Conor Benn I ain't seen before. It's a lot more mature, it's a lot more measured, and I'm going to be totally honest, I didn't think I would see that version of you. But now I also understand that being I wouldn't say necessarily the bigger man, but being, you know, the one to open the door, to send out that kind of dove piece. You've invited Eddie Hearn to come and see you before the fight.
I'm not trying to be the bigger man. I mean it. It's not me trying to sit here and be, you know, I'm sitting on my high horse and I'm not gonna try and be the bigger man. It's from my heart. I mean it. I mean it. From a kid, from 19 years old, I mean it. You know, so I ain't gonna sit here and talk all the talk for the cameras and the drama and this and that. Life's too short, man, and nobody's promised a tomorrow. You know, so I ain't gonna sit here and have beef with nobody. Well, after everything I've been through in my life, I haven't got it in me to fight that fight no more. I'm not that guy no more. I turn over with a chip on my shoulder. I turn over just wanting to, I was angry. I was angry.
Always.
Yeah, I was angry. I had that chip on my shoulder of, what, you think I can't do this? What, you think I can't do that? Watch me. I ain't that guy no more. But it comes with age, it comes with experience, it comes with going through your own challenges, your own adversity, your own controversy, your own life issues. You overcome them and then you just become a better fighter, you become a better man, you become a happier man. And I'm just so grateful that I'm in this position. I give all glory to God. I give all glory to God because this opportunity was from Him. This fight is from Him. Where I'm at now in my career is from Him. He's paved the way for me. He leads the ship. He leads the way. And I lean into my faith. I let Him direct my path.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that. Now, when you and Nigel sat there, you're old and grey.
What do you mean? When he's...
You can't even see it these days. What you look back at your career, what do you want to have achieved now? Because this is the gateway, right? This is an elite level opposition, former two-time heavyweight champion. You've got to beat him in another stadium fight with all of the pressure, with all of the noise. 10 years' time, 15 years' time, 25 years' time. What do you want to have achieved in this sport box?
Listen, I've achieved more than what I thought I could when I first turned pro. I've given a lot of people a lot of drama, a lot to talk about, a lot of controversy. I want people to go when I'm done. Core them Benz could fight. And as long as I'm being the best version of myself, give myself every best chance. Give people highlight real knockouts. Give people fight of the year contenders. Give people the drama. Give people a bit of excitement, a little bit of character. People invest in character more than ability. Or just tune in and just watch. You know, I've lost fights that, I thought I won, then I'm going to, lose fights that I should have won and win fights that I should have lost. I pour it all on. I just give you guys my heart. I fight with my heart on my sleeve. I give you guys everything I have. I can't do any more as a fighter than be the best version of myself so that when I turn up on the night, I'm good to go 15 rounds. I'm good to get up off the deck. I'm good to put them down on the deck. I just want to give people value for money. When my career's said and done, I want the kids and the families who sit around the TV and paid a lot of money to watch me fight go, oh yeah, I remember, back in the day, I used to watch you with my dad and with all the fish and chips in. And I see it with my dad and it's so humbling to see it. I want people to, in 10, 15 years time, to go, I remember how you made me feel as a kid. We got a family together to watch you fight. And that's what I want. Just give people value for money, man, and people know what they're getting when they watch Conor Benn fight.
Right. What a way to finish. Just before we go, Keith, I just want to ask you, how easy is it to manage this man when he just says yes to every fight? How easy is it to manage this man when he just says yes to every fight? He wants to fight. He has the hunger for it.
I mean, he's great to manage. There's nobody he won't fight. He's a global star. He solidified himself over the last couple of fights, selling out a stadium twice, and it doesn't even get bigger than Saturday, right? Netflix, Tyson Fury, Conor Benn. And I'm predicting the fight of the night between Conor and Regis. You have a two-time former world champion, power puncher, comes to fight. Conor Benn's not going to take a backward step either. So I'm expecting a bloodbath, a knockout, and my guy to come out on top.
For sure. Before we wrap up, we have one more press conference to go. Conor, how does it finish? Come Saturday.
Oh, how does it finish? I'm going for the stoppage, definitely. This is my first impression back in 3 years? I just want to remind people why I'm one of the most dangerous welterweights out there. And I'll be gunning for the stoppage. As soon as I see an opportunity, I'm going to take it.
Regis, finally.
I'm going to go out there and shine and do my thing.
No doubt about it. Thank you very, very much. That brings us to the end of our second press conference this evening. Coming up next, we'll have Tyson Fury and Arslanbek Makhmudov. But before we move on, please, let's invite Conor Benn and Regis Prograis for their official face-offs.
Well, here is the face-off until the weigh-in tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, from New Orleans, Louisiana, 30 victories as a professional, 24 by KO. He is Regis Prograis. And his opponent, the man who has defeated every man he's faced in his career, from Essex, United Kingdom, Conor the Destroyer Benn.
And there it is. Regis Prograis, Conor Benn. This has been announced as a super welterweight fight. We saw Regis back down a little bit from the Nepo baby conversation and some of the things that he had said and some of the conversation that he had. But we saw what looked to be a very reflective, open, might I say even vulnerable Conor Benn talking about what it's like growing up, being accused of being a Nepo baby, being very self-introspective. What did you get from him?
The truth. He talked the truth out there, and he's, you know, like he said, he's grown up. He's a bigger man now. He used to get mad easy all the time, and now he's like grown into the sport of boxing. So I love to see that, and I love that from him, and I'm looking forward to watching him fight. Anybody would look forward to watching him fight after that speech of what he said, because, you know, he talks from his heart. He talks from his sleeve. You know, he wears everything on his sleeves, and he talks from his heart.
And yeah, exactly the same way he fights is the same way he was up there on stage.
Yeah.
Keeps it real, just like his dad.
Yes.
Very similar to his dad. They're like carbon copies of each other. As a kid, I remember watching the Dark Destroyer VHS tape. As a kid, I remember watching all of his knockouts. And I used to wear black shorts and boots just like he used to wear. So I understand that energy, the Ben energy, and he has all of that. And he has the opportunity to prove it against a former world champion. He's done it with Chris Algieri already. Great performance. Algieri a little past his prime, a little similar situation. But now he's got to do it on a bigger stage off the back of those two amazing victories over Chris. Oh, sorry, one big victory over him and one loss to Chris Eubank Jr. But he's coming into his own. He's learning. He didn't have the deep amateur pedigree that all of these other fighters have had. You know, he's been boxing for 10 years in a couple of days, his pro debut. So 10 years isn't a long time. I was an amateur for 12 years before I turned professional. You know what I mean? And here he is fighting world champions after 10 years. And he's gone through the ranks steadily, bit by bit. And here he is, in my opinion, at the right time for him.
And he's also worked. He's worked hard. He's trained with different people on the planet to get better. He's trained with different coaches as well. And you can see that he wants to be a better fighter. Even every time he goes out, he seems that little bit dialed in better to me. So I love that about him. And I look forward to watching him fight. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I think he's going to be coming out after the guy. And, you know, he's boxing a smaller man. He's the big man now. So I know he's going to press the action. So,
yeah, because we heard him mention sort of the different fighting styles between the first bout with Chris Eubanks and the second one. And that first one, his father, Nigel, talked about it. He just came out there like a madman, ready to go, frenetic energy, and he was much more measured and mature the second go round. What will it require to take down Regis Prograis? A little mix of both?
Yeah, you know, from the first fight, he hadn't been on that stage before. He'd never been out there where the pressure was on. This was the big fight, the family name. He fought, as Lennox said, with his heart on his sleeve, and he just let it all go. And that's not how you do it. You've got to be strategic. You've got to pick your moments. There's a time to just let it all out. And early doors sometimes isn't the time to do it, and that was proven in the first time. Second time round, significantly more measured. He picked his spots, he set traps, and he had a much better performance. So the learnings from the first and second Chris fight was massive. You know, after coming off a loss, here he is now with someone, you know, tricky southpaw, orthodox, former world champion who's been there. He's going to need to do something different, and he's going to have to learn some lessons in this fight. But I just think the size difference, the fact he looked significantly bigger and has had training camps recently with much bigger sparring partners, he's just a bigger machine.
I know that there is a size advantage, but I can't let you get away with just saying it's youth, it's youth, it's youth, because experience is a thing too. Yeah. And when you talk about Regis Prograis, I loved what he mentioned. He didn't say much.
No, he didn't.
He didn't say much, but he did say, I wanted to fight Conor Benn because Conor Benn was me, out to prove himself, and Regis has done that. But he also has 8 years experience. Yep. He's got 8 more fights and 52 more rounds of experience. And then, of course, the titles as well than Conor Benn. Lennox, will that come into factor at all?
It will come into factor. That's why, you know, Colin Benn has to go out there. He said he's going to be aggressive, but he has to be smart too. And he said he's going to, when the opportunity presents itself, he's going to take it. That means he's going to try and make some opportunities for himself by giving him a little pressure and coming forward. But sometimes coming forward, you can come forward too much and leave yourself exposed. So he has to be careful of that as well, because some of the punches he throws are pretty wild. He has to make sure they're intact.
The guy who wants to prove that he can be great, Conor Benn, versus the guy who wants to prove he can still be great, and Regis Prograis. What is a more dangerous position to be in?
I think the older guy's in a more dangerous position because he's having to go to the well once again. There was rumours about training camp not going that great for him. There was rumours of an injury. Very rarely does a rumour come out that there isn't some remnants of truth to. So, but all fighters do receive certain small injuries in training camp. He seems like he's up for it. Doesn't want to do too much PR and promotion. He's heard the $15 million purse that Ben's getting, and whatever he's getting, it's nothing. So he
wanted to air it out.
He was a little bit sore, and I get it. He's the former champ. I get it, but he's not the one responsible for packing out a soccer stadium. This is Conor Benn. Conor Benn is the star of the moment. He's a star of the past. So he's going to have to understand this is how boxing works.
And then you've got a star of the past and the present, and who knows, probably the future is too. I'm talking about Tyson Fury, who, of course, is our co-main headline, taking on Arslanbek Makhmudov. And if he's going to win after 16 months after his fifth retirement, he's going to have to face the very powerful Russian Canadian. Take a look.
I came back for one reason only. To make boxing great again.
I'm the Gypsy King!
I come make my legacy, my story. It's a dream become true.
Fight game, it never leaves you. I live for this shit.
Yes, legend in boxing.
I'm back, baby!
I have everything to beat him.
He's going to realise how much of a legend I am.
All the world can be against me. It's nothing.
Arslanbek, you're in some trouble, baby. I'm gonna get you.
I can't wait!
And we are just moments away from both of these men taking the stage here at the Pelican. But I got to ask you, Lennox.
Yeah.
We've heard Tyson Fury say numerous times he was happy in retirement. He was living his best life, taping his reality show, which will be on Netflix this month. But that boxing got boring and that it needed him. And he said a trip to Thailand changed his mind. Do you believe him that he felt boxing needed him more than he needed boxing?
No, I think he needed boxing more than boxing needed him. I think he missed boxing. And, this is his chance to really come back and prove himself. I don't think he believes that he retired feeling good. He doesn't feel good about his retirement. He feels there's a lot he needs to do or he can come back and do.
How do you size up choosing this opponent, Makhmudov, after 16 months off, as what maybe people are calling a tune-up for maybe a bigger fight?
I think it's the perfect opponent. Makhmudov, big, strong, vertical forearms, comes forward, big stiff dosser, as Tyson would say. This is the guy that he would pick out of all of the heavyweights because he looks the part, he's strong as an ox, he's got a good chin, so he'll give Tyson Fury the opportunity to have some fun in there. Tyson, you remember, he's been doing this for so long, since he was a kid. He's undisputed champion, he's been there. This is Carlos Takam, a very good fighter. My former sparring partner of mine. And Makhmudov is a big, rough and tough heavyweight because Takam's got a great chin and he was smashing these guys. So it will take someone very special like Ajit Kabayel to be able to chop down someone this physically imposing and physically strong. And Tyson Fury has the skill set. This all looks great, but none of these guys in the ring are anywhere close to being Tyson Fury's skill level. I don't know who this guy is, but Tyson Fury's not going to be playing that same game. Makhmudov knows that, but Makhmudov wants to test himself because he knows Tyson Fury's been out. He's the unknown. He's been retired. Has he been training? Has he been partying? We never know.
And maybe test him right away, because we take a quick look at the tail of the tape. If there's one thing that Makhmudov does very well, it's knock people out quite early. In fact, he's got 13 first-round KOs. So how important is a fast start, Lennox, for Makhmudov is going to pull the upset on Saturday?
Yeah, he's going to have a fast start, but he's got to be careful because, Tyson Fury is not an easy guy to hit. And he's got to make sure that he's accurate with his punches, because if he misses his punches, he's going to be wasting a lot of energy. So he's got to take his time, especially in the first few rounds. If he comes out there trying to knock out a Tyson Fury, it's not going to be good for him.
Yeah, we see that Tyson Fury's been dropped 5 times in his last handful of fights with that right hand, and that's actually Makhmudov's best punch. If you're Tyson Fury, how are you not overestimating this opponent and looking ahead to what many people want as a bigger fight, potentially another title fight? How do you stay locked in, David, and make sure you take care of the task at hand?
I would assume that the fight he had with Ngannou was the big kick up the butt to make him pay attention to people. I remember before that fight, he's a kickboxer, he's an MMA fighter, he's never had a boxing match of life, this is going to be easy work. He got knocked down, and in my opinion, he lost that fight on points. So that was a lesson for him, and he won it on points very closely. This time around, I don't think he's going to overlook and underestimate someone, because on paper, they don't look that good. Remember, Ngannou had 0 fights. This guy's been around for a while. This guy's big and strong and rough and tough. So I think Tyson Fury's learned that lesson. So I'm expecting the very best Tyson Fury after this 16-month layoff.
Yeah, everybody at these press conferences has been very kind, nice, a little random. But now it's time for Tyson Fury and the Gypsy King to show up. And we are all hoping for his show. With that, we get it back to the Hall of Famer, Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final press conference for the Clash of Giants, Fury versus Makhmudov. It's live worldwide, exclusively on Netflix this Saturday, the 11th of April, from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, London, England. And the main event is brought to you by the Bible of Boxing Ring Magazine and Netflix in association with Gold Star Promotions and Queensberry Promotions. There are a few tickets left. If you plan on going, get to Ticketmaster. And it's all on Saturday. We'll be going live worldwide with the Netflix broadcast at 7 p.m. London time. For those of you watching around the world, check with your local time zones, and we'll be seeing you then, live, 7 p.m. London time. The panel behind me, ladies and gentlemen, for this final press conference, the CEO of the Bible of Boxing Ring Magazine, Mr. Rick Reno. Trainer for Arslan Makhmudov, Mark Ramsey. CEO of Gold Star, Spencer Brown. CEO of Queensberry, Frank Warren. And representing Sella, Mr. Abraham Mohtaseb. So, ladies and gentlemen, the main event, the one we've been waiting for, the return of the Gypsy King. 12 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Let's meet the fighters at this time. Introducing first, coming to us from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He stands 6 feet 5.5 inches. His professional record, 21 victories in the heavyweight division. 19 of those 21 victories by knockout, and 17 have come in 3 rounds or less. Only 2 defeats in his career. Please welcome to London, Arslan Le Lion Makhmudov! Arslan Makhmudov. And now the return of the Gypsy King to the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most charismatic fighters in the history of the sport, fighting out of the Isle of Man, United Kingdom. He stands 6 feet 9. His professional record, 34 victories, 24 of those 34 by knockout. Only 2 defeats with 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, the former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury. And please welcome our host for the final press conference, Mr. Josh Denzel.
Thank you, Michael. What an entrance, Tyson.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome back for the final time this evening and the last of tonight's press conferences. We now turn our attention to Saturday night's main event, live worldwide on Netflix. It marks the return of a two-time heavyweight champion, one of the biggest names in global boxing, stepping back into the ring after almost 16 months away. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, is back. And standing opposite him, a fearsome opponent, a Canadian-based Russian, Arslanbek Makhmudov, a heavyweight renowned for explosive power, 17 knockout wins inside 3 rounds, a reputation for finishing fights fast. Before we hear from the fighters directly themselves, let's get an expert assessment of the matchup and the risks and what this moment means for the heavyweight division. Please welcome CEO of the Ring Magazine, Rick Reno. Now, Rick, when you think of events like this, stadium fights, Tyson Fury, Ring Magazine cards, just where does this sit? How big is it?
I mean, it's massive. You know, there's a lot of talented heavyweights out there, a lot of talented fighters, but as they say, there's only one Tyson Fury. And the heavyweight division hasn't been as lively with Tyson being gone, and now that he's back, it seems like things have brightened up. You know, where when it's a Tyson Fury fight, it's like a spectacle. He's got this whole cast of characters around him. There's just drama, there's fun, there's all sorts of antics that go on. I mean, even the build-up to this fight, you know, it's been a little crazy even for me, you know, just lead up into fight week, and you know, I get a call saying, yeah, you got to do this face-off and we got to harness you up. And I'm like, harness me up? And they're like, yeah, you're going to be up on top of the stadium. And then, you know, we're up there, the 3 of us, and we're all trying to make sure the harnesses are good, and we're looking down, and you know, I'm seeing my life flash before me. I'm like, it's a pretty long drop. But you can only get that in a Tyson Fury fight. That's the kind of build-up to a Fury fight where you're doing a face-off on top of the stadium. I think, you know, Tyson, I've said it before, he's not just one of the most recognizable boxers on the planet. I think he's one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet. Everyone, no matter where he goes, they know Tyson Fury. And you know, he's got a dangerous, determined opponent in front of him, a very big monster of a man, a guy who has dynamite in his hands. He didn't pick an easy assignment for his return. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of action on Saturday night.
We can't wait for it. When Tyson Fury is in the house, it is always a Netflix show. It could have incredible connotations for the heavyweight division. Now, Tyson, I'm going to start by saying that His Excellency, Turki Al-Sheikh, has a direct message for you. He says you owe him a rabbit.
Will a big ugly bear do?
There we go. I think that must be an inside joke. We'll find out the meaning of that soon. But now we have to speak to the fighter. So I'm going to start by talking to Mark Ramsey, head trainer of Arslanbek Makhmudov. When the opportunity to face Tyson Fury was presented, what was the initial reaction inside the team? Was it an immediate yes, or was it something that you had to consider?
Listen, you work all your life to be at that point, to have those kind of opportunity, and everybody was very happy. We jumped on it. We have a very good training camp, no injury, no excuse, and just ready to fight.
Now, Fury's size, his movement, his unpredictability is very hard to replicate. How do you even begin to find sparring partners that can emulate that can give you a look of what you're going to see on Fight Night?
When you prepare for training camp of those kind of fight, like you cannot find in one sparring partner all the quality, all the level of the opposition. What you need to do is to isolate the quality of the opponent and bring in a training camp multitude of sparring partner and be able to work on all those details.
And for those viewers that may be new to boxing, for those seasoned boxing fans that might not have followed Arslanbek's rise to prominence closely. What should they know about him, and what makes him a genuine threat to this man, Tyson Fury, come Saturday?
Can you repeat, please?
For those that maybe haven't followed your man's career from the very start, maybe they're new to boxing, what should they expect from your man, and what problems can he pose to Tyson Fury here?
Fighting. Like, listen, we're going to give the fans exactly what they deserve, a good fight. I think both styles are very, it's a good mix for fans, and let's believe on some action.
Now, time to speak to Makhmudov. You're headlining a huge event on Saturday, live, worldwide, Ring Magazine card, on Netflix. How excited are you feeling right now, just days away from what is arguably the biggest fight of your career?
First of all, hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here. And to be honest, very excited to be in this kind of event and this big show with these big names. I'm very happy and can't wait for Saturday night.
Now I'm gonna press you. I'm gonna press you because this is the biggest stage that you've ever been competed on. It's a massive audience. This is your moment in the spotlight. It comes with a lot of pressure. Is there any fear at all, or are you thriving on that pressure?
I don't have nothing pressure because God prepared me for this moment all my life. I know we make around 10 years ago photo. In this photo, it means a lot for me because God started to prepare me for this moment, and I believe this is my time. It's my hunting. That's it.
For reference, Arslanbek, you took a photo with Tyson Fury 10 years ago, and you had that on your wall, and now you're fighting him in front of 70,000 people or more at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yes, I take a photo. I was still his fan, and he's a great boxer, legend. But Saturday night, I go for my job. I go for make my story.
Now, fans have seen you do some rather unconventional things in camp in the past, including wrestling with bears. But this time, the challenge is very different. How have you prepared for Tyson Fury specifically, and where is this training camp going to take place?
Yes, I like challenge from when I was a kid. I like challenge, a lot of challenge, and one of my friend offered me this. I was interesting to try myself with the Canos monster, because to be honest, it's very scary, and if somebody it's like a fake, you can trust, welcome, but to be honest, I don't want to try anymore this because it was so scary, but I want to feel myself in this terrible situation, to control myself in my emotion in this terrible situation, and I want to have this experience in my life. This was funny. I think it was funny, but it wasn't funny, of course. But it was good, experience.
He's been wrestling bears. No bears in Thailand?
Unfortunately not, no. No bears in Thailand. Did have Josie Parker there, though, and a few other heavyweights to tussle with. Been a good camp. I've had a 16-week training camp for this. I've been away from my family, all the old same old bullshit, all the old boxers will say. Everything's gone all great and all that, but it really has. I don't remember having as good as camp, really, as positive as camp and as injury-free camp. And when you get to my age and you've had as many hard fights as I have, there's always injuries and there's always problems, and it usually fucks you up in training camps. But thank God, touch wood, I've been all right this time, and I've got through in one piece. And I always say, like, just get me to the fight in one piece and I'll do what I've got to do. And I'm here in one piece, and I've got a couple of days to go till I make this dramatic fifth comeback out of retirement.
They're not retirements anymore. They're just bits of time
every
off.
time I come back, it's bigger every time, and I'm back for the fifth time, so it's extravagant. But this time, I not only bring Netflix with me, I'm also giving away free pizzas. So pretty good for a fat fucker, isn't it? Typical.
Well, someone who's going to want to spoil that party, Arslanbek, you are known as being a fast starter, someone who's got 17 knockouts inside 3 rounds. Tyson Fury's been knocked down before, but it seems as though he's impossible to knock out. Do you believe you're the first man that could stop him? And how much does that opportunity drive you? You want to repeat it? Yeah.
Shortly, please, shortly.
No worries. Essentially, you're known as a fast starter with heavy hands, a lot of knockouts in the first few rounds of fights. But Tyson Fury, the man you're facing, has never been knocked out. He's been knocked down. Do you believe you can be the first man to stop him?
I say again, Tyson Fury is a great boxer. You know, in the box you have rules. You don't have to go for knockout. You have to go for good boxer. Just what I want to do. That's a good boxer, and this is my coach. This is my goal. And what's gonna happen, we don't know. We're gonna know Saturday night. Just don't say now, oh, it's gonna be this or gonna be this. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. God knows what's gonna happen, and we just do it. What we have to do. That's it.
We were talking to Lennox Lewis earlier, who's part of the broadcast, and I think he echoes the opinions of a lot of journalists, a lot of boxing fans. What is the game plan? What are you going to implement come fight night that will help you beat Tyson Fury?
This is the game plan. Two big guys go in the ring to kill each other. Just one game plan to land a lot of punch and don't receive punch for myself. That's it. Very simple.
Simple game plan. That's it. No more. You're not giving anything away to the media. No, nothing. You're not giving anything away?
Huh?
You're not giving anything away. I like that. Keep your cards close to your chest. Now, Tyson's been out of the ring for almost 16 months. Do you feel that those opening rounds are your best opportunity to catch him cold? Do you feel like, you know, if Tyson spent a lot of time out of the ring?
No, I don't think so. It's probably for him because for his experience, for his level of his boxing, it's not a big problem to stay away from boxing. And maybe even opposite is even best because he recovered, you know, from back in the day had a hard fight, you know. That's why I don't think so. It's bad things.
Thank you very much for your time. Now on to Team Tyson. Frank, long-time promoter of Tyson Fury. Why Makhmudov and why now?
Why now? Because Tyson's coming back. He's back and he's had 18 months out. Had a fantastic year last year. We spoke about it over the weekend, and he believes, and a lot of people believe, that he'll become world champion again. He's the most colourful heavyweight out there. Every time he gets involved in a fight, the build-up to it, there's nothing like it. Everybody gets, you know, a real good fun time out of it. And in the ring, once he steps in that ring, you always get a quality fight, top quality fight. You know, some of the best fights I've seen in the heavyweight division have involved Tyson. Probably one of the best live heavyweight fights I ever see was the last fight he had against Wilder. That had me on the edge of my seats. That was an amazing fight. And we're on that road again. He's on that road again to show that he's the best. And one thing is for sure, he's the best showman out of all of them, and I'm quite sure he'll prove at the end of the day he's the best as well. That's the journey he's on. And all that means is you're going to get excitement. You know, the people at Tottenham on Saturday are going to see something special. The people on Netflix will see something special because you're seeing a special fighter, a great fighter, a modern-day great fighter.
Thank you very much, Frank. Spencer, you his manager and his long-time friend. When did you realise that there were signs that he was mentally ready and physically ready to come back and do this all again? Because it's a hard game.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it all the time, and Tyson weren't really interested. He was with his family, and he was having a great time with his family, seeing his kids for the first time in a long time that he'd spent time with them. He'd missed birthdays and missed Christmases. So, you know, he didn't want to come back straight away. He had a long think about it. He went and talked to his family, his wife, me, everybody concerned he spoke to. And in the end, it was down to him, and he made this decision. He was coming back, and it won't be just a flash in the pan. This, I think that you'll see Tyson, after this fight, go on to some bigger and better things. We all talk about the fight we all want to see. You know, let's talk about this first. And I'd just like to say thanks to Ring, to Turkey Al-Sheikh, to Netflix, you know, to put something like this on, and there'll be 60 to 70,000 people at Tottenham on Saturday. There'll be 60 to 70,000 Tyson Fury fans. And he hasn't fought in England for a long time, so people forget this is homecoming, really. He's back in England. He's back doing what he does best. And honestly, I mean, I've spoke to his sparring partners, I've spoke to everybody. His trainers, his sparring partners, everybody who's been around the camp, and they tell me that he's in the best form they've ever seen. His sparring partner said that he sparred everybody, and I mean everybody. And he said he was something special. He's very, very different on this occasion. He's so happy. I've never seen him so happy in a camp. There's always niggles and there's always something, but this one, he's got through it all. There's no injury, there's no niggles. He's been so happy. Family are fully supporting him. So I just see on Saturday, Tyson, massive performance from Tyson Fury. A huge performance. Get up there, Tyson Fury.
I'm sure that everybody is absolutely buzzing to see Tyson Fury back. And just as a note, joining us on stage is Ibrahim Moaseb, Chief International Business Officer, who I'm sure had a role in bringing Tyson Fury back and was instrumental in that. Now, Tyson, these aren't retirements, are they? You love the game too much, and as your good man there said, it's a happy and healthy Tyson Fury. It's a dangerous Tyson Fury. It's the best version of Tyson Fury, and if anybody knows you, Spencer knows.
You know, people always question retirement for me, and I've retired 5 times before and wholeheartedly meant it 5 times. Successfully come back 4 times before, and we're going to find out on Saturday night if I'm going to be successful for the 5th time, which I believe I will be. Make no mistake, when I walk away every time from boxing, I have zero intentions of returning. However, after a few months, I'm like bored of the normal life. Dropping the kids off at school, taking the dog for a walk, that sort of stuff. And I miss the game, you know. I miss the boxing, I miss the press conferences, I miss everything that comes with the big fights. I miss all that. And this time there was a couple of defining moments for me that made that decision for me to come back. And one of them was my long-term rival Anthony Joshua's crash over in Nigeria. And when I heard that news, it was so sad, and I thought to myself, you know, life's very short, and I've been a big advocate of saying there is no tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody, but when things like that happen, it certainly certifies that there is no tomorrow. So you've got to live every day like it's your last, and enjoy. And I thought to myself, you know, I've still got love for this game. I know I can still do it, so that's why I'm coming back. But this time I thought, you know what, it's going to be different again, because for the first time in forever, I'm the hunter, I'm not the hunted. And we all know that when I've always been the hunter in the past, I've always fucked people up. And I feel actually sorry for Arslanbek Makhmudov, because he's got to face me, an injury-free Tyson Fury, and on good form. I've had good preparation, and I'm going to make an example of him. He's a big 6'7" lump, 18, 19 stone. He will not be able to get out of the way of me, and I'll knock his head right off his 2 shoulders. I'm going to lay him unconscious on Saturday night at Tottenham. I'll be like the gamecock on top of Tottenham's Hotspur Stadium, and he'll be like the knocked out man, spark out on the floor on the canvas, looking up thinking, what the fuck just happened there? But it's no shame, because like he said, he's fighting the great Tyson Fury. And not only will I do it to him, I'll do it to all of them as well, like I've done many times in the past before. And like Frank touched on before, sooner or later, these so-called alphabetical world champions are going to have to fight me. Whoever it might be, whoever's got the belt at the time, will be hunted and will be destroyed. And let's face it, who are they going to fight to make any money? I'm the money man. When you mention Tyson Fury in heavyweight boxing, you know you're getting paid. So they're lining up. All of them, whoever's got belts, will be begging me to fight by the end of the year. On their hands and knees, begging the Gypsy King to fight them. Look at this, I've been out the ring 16 months. I'm back. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, like Spencer, 60, 70,000 people there, bringing the biggest broadcasting streamer in the world with me, Netflix. This is my 6th stadium fight back-to-back. Who's ever done that before? ChatGPT said, nobody. I'm the first one.
Can't argue with ChatGPT.
To do, yeah, and first man in history ever to do 6 stadium fights back-to-back. No one's ever done that before. People fight in arenas and MGMs and wherever else, T-Mobile stuff, but not fucking 6 stadiums back-to-back. So, obviously, I'm the top man in this division, and I'm going to prove it again and again and again. And it won't be nothing to me because it's what I do. It's what I do. I fight, I box, and after watching Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder the other day, I thought to myself, I'm not going to be like that surely on Saturday night, because if I am, please take me out to the field and shoot me. Definitely.
We will.
No disrespect to them 2 boys. They showed heart of lions and determination and everything. But age waits for nobody. One's 42, one's 40. It's coming to us all. They all say my legs are gone. They all say my reactions are gone. Tune in and find out Saturday night, because I'm telling you they're not, and we're not this motherfucker spark out. And prove it.
Well, Tyson, the man that's going to help you do that, you said initially in our first press conference was going to be just you. You were going to train yourself, but when I look out...
By the way, yeah,
go on.
Cut you off from talking. I'm the man who's trained myself, fed myself, looked after myself, massaged myself, the fucking lot. Promoted myself and managed myself. Is there anything else I can't do?
You can do it all, Tyson, but when I look out into the front row, I see Sugar Hill there, and he has been spotted.
No, Sugar's not here. He's only here for moral support.
Oh, he's here for moral support. Yeah. With the pictures AI as well from out in Thailand.
Yeah.
When did that, are we going to do this? When did that decision get made that he was going to come in? Maybe not train, you just be there for that moral support that you needed.
When did you come in, Sugar? Last week sometime, wasn't it? First of the month.
There's one thing that don't tell porkies, and that's ChatGPT. I think there's something going on here.
I don't know.
When, talking to that camp, it's been rather unconventional, different location, different structure. How's that impacted you? You look happy.
I am happy, I don't know if it's because I've been away from my wife and kids for 16 weeks, which is weird if it's true, or if it's just because I've got this rejuvenation from the sun and the good people in Thailand and all of that sort of stuff. Now, I'm hoping it's the latter, not the first one. I've been away from my kids and that. It's been a long time. I think 16 weeks is the longest I've ever been away for in my professional life. It's been great out in Thailand, and I recommend it to anybody. It's a great place for training. The only thing is it's really hot every day, which is good for...
I thought that was the point.
It's good when you're a fat fucker like me to get your weight off, for sure. Get it down anyway, not off. I'm still fat, but still, I'm proud of that. But I got my weight down nice and steady, and I ate good food, and it was just a great experience. And Spencer be phoning me like, are you all right, Tyce? Do you need anything? I say, Spencer, I'm 100%, I don't need nothing. He's like, you don't need nothing? I'm like, 100%, I'm good, I don't need anything. And it was like, this is new. So yeah, it's been unbelievable. I've had great people around me, great training partners. Great team. And everyone's worked in. And aside from all the joking, obviously Sugar's been my long-term trainer and mentor from, we go back to 2009. 2009's a long way, Sugar, isn't it? And then Christian, he's my longest remaining member of the first team. We go back 10 years. And then Sifu, old granddad, where is he at? He's there. I got Grandpapa Sifu there. My 2 granddads are dead, so I've adopted him as my new granddad. 75 years old, Grandad Sifu, my trainer. And then I've had his son, Junior, and Mark, and all the boys over in Thailand. And it's been an unbelievable team. And Joe and Mark and Kevin. I just had like an unbelievable camp. Like, I've had current WBC bridgeweight champion, training me. I've had Joseph Parker, former world heavyweight champion, training me. I've had upcoming guys training me. It's been unbelievable, honestly. I've had my son in camp. I've had my nephew in camp. What more can I say? I'm on form. I'm ready to fight.
No doubt about it. You look like you're ready. You could go tomorrow. Now, when fans think of you, they think of those epic battles like the third fight with
Sorry, I forgot the main man.
Go on.
Asgi. He's been with me the longest of all of them. Where's he at? Asgi, there he is. Me and Asgi go back such a long way, and I'm so happy that he's back part of the team. He's been a massive boost for me. Maybe it's fucking Asgi, you know, because I tell you what...
Who's in the corner? Everyone in the corner.
Since he's been in camp this time, yeah, I've been so happy. And at every end of every sparring, I look at Asgi and he's like, or if he's like that, I know there's a problem. He's like that, everything's good. And he doesn't say anything. I just know by one glance at him that everything's going well. And that's a good thing.
There we go. Are you done? Everyone accounted for?
Is there anybody else?
Shouldn't have said it. Shouldn't have said it. No, I think we're all good.
When loads of people, I could keep going on forever.
Listen, it's not an Oscar speech, Tyson.
My personal life, is it? Big shout out to my mum, my dad, my
I'm about to ask you about how camp's gone. Come on. Now, when people think of Tyson Fury, those epic nights with Deontay Wilder, that third fight, you know, also an elusive, a masterful boxer. What version of Tyson Fury are we going to see after this incredible camp out in Thailand with all of the, you know, key people?
Speedy, skillful, handsome, and destructive. 100%. The one thing about me is I've never lost my speed or my reactions. I can put my hands down and let a heavyweight try and punch me in the face and get out of the way of 99% of them. Still got it. I'm looking for a good performance, you know, as good as it can be after 16 months out of the ring. And people say, oh, well, how will you know? Because I must have done 500 rounds of sparring, and I've still got it. The boys can testify to it. I'm doing all right in the gym, innit, Kev?
There's no doubts you walk out at Tottenham in front of 60, 70,000 British boxing fans. It's been a long time since you've been back in front of those guys. How excited? How much does that drive you to put on that show? You said some harsh words to the man to my left. You said you want to make his face look like a butcher's block after 4 rounds. How much is that motivating you?
If it goes that far, it motivates me. It's been 4 years since I've been boxing in the UK. I've been out in Saudi Arabia, which was fantastic for me. It was unbelievable. Big shout out to Turki Al Sheikh and his Royal Highness MBS and everybody else involved. Dr. Rakan as well. I keep forgetting all these important people. I must have
giving you a platform for
to the face. But yeah, like to come back to England and fight here in a stadium at Tottenham Hotspur, let's hope I do a lot better than Tottenham are doing right now, because they're shocking at the minute. It's an unbelievable experience, you know, to have 60, 70,000 cheering fans for you on Saturday night. Makhmudov's never been in that type of deep water before. His legs might go before he gets to the ring. You know, it's a somber experience. If you've never been to big-time boxing before, and then you wake up and you're in the deep end, you're in the Atlantic Ocean, and you say, right, swim back to England. That's how it feels like. All the world's cameras and media are watching you. 70,000 screaming British fans watching you. It's an uphill battle. But listen, David slayed Goliath. Anything can happen in this boxing ring, and Makhmudov, make no mistake, as confident as I am and punching his face in, 100% confident. He's a dangerous man. I heard he had 17 knockouts within the first 3 rounds of 19 KOs, and only two people went the distance with him. Carlos Takam and Dave Allen, who are both tough guys. So, you know, I've never overlooked anybody in my life, and I've definitely not overlooked this beast. He's a scary dude, and he almost pushed me off the top of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium 3 times the other day, which was, I was thinking to myself, why the fuck have I come up here? I was absolutely shitting myself. It was so high, and I was looking down, it was a glass floor, and the wind was blowing, and it was shaking. And then Arslanbek decided to pretend to shove me. My legs went to jelly. I thought, I'd fight this man 100 times, but I can't tell you this, I'm going to faint. I'm going to fall off it. I was that nervous. I didn't know I was afraid of heights until I got up there. What a surreal experience that was. But it won't be anything compared to what he's going to face on Saturday night.
Do you think the lights will be too bright for this man come Saturday night? And you've dealt with him.
Only one way to find out. All the thinking, guessing, predicting, ain't far to wait and watch. Tune in on Saturday night. What time is this fight going to ring walk live? Me? 9:30, 10 o'clock, is it?
We'll have to speak to the guy from Netflix. Depends on a few
Anybody
things.
in here can tell me that information?
9:30 to 10.
9:30 to 10.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
That's not a time. That's between 9:30 and 10.
Oh, 9:30 and 10. Okay, correct.
There you go. Is that all right with you?
That's all right. That's nice.
The lights will be just bright enough.
Beat walking out at 3 in the morning in Saudi, for sure. Or 2:30. At least I can go get kebab after the fight.
Tyson, finally, I'm gonna wrap things up. You've mentioned a lot about pushing this sport forward. How do you, Tyson Fury, make boxing great?
I bring the biggest and baddest shows to live television. It's a travelling circus. Wherever I go, I bring the attention. Not only have I got a massive fight on Netflix, which will be viewed by millions of people in the world, on Sunday I release season 2 of At Home with the Furies with Netflix also, so that's something to put on your reminder list as well. Season 2 At Home with the Furies, released Sunday.
There we go. And we know what comes next after this fight. You beat this Russian man mountain, and potentially that fight
I'm
that
sure
we've
there's a
all
movie
been
next,
waiting for. There could be. There could be, especially if you end up fighting the man that everybody knows we'd want to see, Anthony Joshua. Do you see that fight happening?
Well, I don't want to be mentioning anybody's names, name dropping, when I've got a dangerous heavyweight in front of me here in Arslanbek Makhmudov, and all those other tossers can wait their turn to get a good hiding. But first, I've got to deal with him and give him a good hiding first, because many men have overlooked the first hurdle at bigger names and been chinned, i.e. Anthony Joshua done that before. But we're not going to go there, because that's what I don't do. I like to just focus on me one man here, who I've got, and then come Sunday, you can ask me all the questions you want about any other heavyweight in the world, but give this man his respect. Like I said, when Daniel Dubois was fighting Anthony Joshua, everybody said, all the boxing brains of the world said, AJ was going to knock him out inside 3 rounds, and he was overlooking him. Are you going to fight Tyson next? You're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I said, you better put some respect on Dubois' name, because he's going to chin him, and that's what happened. So I won't fall down that hurdle or same track. I'm focused on this man mountain in front of me. Says he's 6'5", is he? Fuck, he's as big as me. Says 6'5". On his knees he might be 6'5". So yeah, I've got to be switched on, 100% focused. I'm ready to rock and roll from round 1, because he's a quick starter, obviously. He's had 17 knockouts in the first couple of rounds. So yeah, I better be on form, and I better be, what did Eddie Hearn call me? A herky-jerky motherfucker. Better be like that for the 3 rounds until he gasses himself out, and then we'll see what happens from there.
No doubt. So the roadmap is set. You just got to get over the first speed bump. Thank you very much, Tyson. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. That brings an end to tonight's festivities. Don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. for the public weigh-in live on the Ring Magazine social platforms. And before we sign off, please bring the fighters together for the final official face-off.
This Saturday.
This. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Yes. You've got a proper glow about you, though.
This Saturday, April 11th, live and exclusive on Netflix, the return of the Gypsy King, the Clash of the Giants, 12 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division, and it's all live and exclusive on Netflix. Arslan Makhmudov versus the return of the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury!
And there it is, the 2 main eventers and the Clash of the Giants, and that is not hyperbole. These are some big men. As you look at Tyson Fury, called a spectacle, and Arslanbek Makhmudov, who, by the way, if the psychological part of this is supposed to be in play, he was completely unmoved. Lennox and David, he was on his phone texting most of the night. What do you make from what you just saw from these two?
Well, you know, Tyson is ready. He's ready to go. I mean, he's coming up here right now, so we can ask him, and he's going to be excited about it. But Makhmudov was definitely on his phone, wasn't really paying him any attention. For me, I was saying he shouldn't be on his phone.
Right.
This is the most important fight of his career. You know, he should be listening to what Tyson is saying and what Tyson is doing. I would never have been on my phone, so that showed misinterest, and I don't think he's that serious about the fight, because I would be serious. I would be watching Tyson all the time. I'd be listening to everything he was saying and watching it, but Makhmudov wasn't doing that.
Apparently, Tyson Fury is also the Candyman of boxing because when you say his name, when you say his name, he appears, and just like that, the Gypsy King has joined us here. I see you. How you feel, Tyson?
On top of the world, baby! I'm back!
You are back. You have said many a time that you can beat a man in the ring or in the mind. When you look over and you see your opponent on the phone, texting and what, not paying attention, how did you feel about that?
He's beat. He looks at the Gypsy King and he thinks, fuck me, I'm going to beat this legend.
That's what you think he's
Speed,
feeling?
accuracy, power, footwork, and if it comes to it, heart like a lion in Zion. Go on, Lennox!
So listen, how was the training camp and sparring? You were saying your partners were saying that you were fast, you're back on top. Do you feel that way?
I feel good in training, but as we know, training camps and sparring mean fuck all until we get in there on the night.
Right.
But if it's anything to go off, I feel as good as I've ever felt. People say to me, "Oh, how were you compared to 10 years ago?" I think I'd still do the same to this guy 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 2 years ago, or 2 days ago. It's going to be the same outcome. I feel good. I've trained hard. I'm in good shape for me. Not like David A shape, but I'm in good shape for Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Part and jelly.
I like Makhmudov too. I like his style. The fact he comes forward and pushes it.
Yes.
You won't have to go looking for him.
No.
He's going to be there. The fact that you've got a solid 16-week camp, you're going to be in good nick. You're going to be able to practice stuff in there.
100%.
It's a perfect opportunity. And I said that as soon as this fight was announced. If you've been partying in Thailand, he'll be a big banana. He'll be a big banana skin. But if you have been training, as everyone said you have, I think you could really put on a masterclass.
I hope so. I think this guy's got the ability to make me look like Tyson Fury. Definitely. He's big, he's cumbersome, he's powerful, which is my appetizing tasters.
Yeah, the only thing you really have to worry about is what are the dangers in there with him? I know you've been watching some tape. What are the dangers? Big right hand?
He's got a big right hand, and he doesn't often throw it straight. He curves it like a curveball, so he's got a big, dangerous right hook. But other than that, he doesn't have a lot else. He's got a pouring jab, solid right hand, but his power punch is a big hook. And if he lands that, he comes back with a massive swinging left hook. And if he misses that, he will fall over.
Okay.
I think you learnt your lesson with the Ngannou fight about not giving someone the respect that they would do. I've been in that situation where I've had a hard night when I've not really paid the price because there was no fear. Although this Makhmudov might not give you fear, you understand that someone like Ngannou who had 0 fights was a hard night's work.
Yeah, for sure. Any heavyweight's hard night's work, and you'd be silly to overlook them. And definitely this man's a highly experienced international Russian star boxer, boxed in the World Series, and he's had 20-odd fights as the pro. He's a good man, you know.
Listen.
And if I'm not what I think I am, or what I was before, then I'm going to get battered to bits.
He's got 23 fights, 21 wins, 19 knockouts in that, 17 of those coming within the first 3 rounds. Are you anticipating that you're going to see everything from him early on in the bout?
No. They might do that against lesser opponents, but they know if they come out guns blazing against a Gypsy King, it's going to be curtains. I'm a wicked counterpuncher, especially on someone slow as cumbersome as that. I'm going to knock his block right off. But if he goes early, round 1, it'll be epic. But if he goes round 12, I'll be like, oh, well, got a good 12-rounder in.
Yeah. Tyson, I am famously very American, but I'm going to use a British term here. Is there a reason you're being a bit cheeky about Sugar Hill Stewart and whether he's training you or not?
That's the question you got to ask yourself. You know, I'll never tell. I'm one of them people who don't kiss and tell. So,
right.
Sugar Hill, is he training? Is he not? You know, he's here. So we'll have to find out on the night. There he is on the screen.
You see him there in the crowd. Yeah. The internet has told us that maybe he has been around at the very least in Thailand. Okay.
This fight, for me, after coming off the retirement once again, knowing that Wilder's back, Anthony Joshua looked like he's back, you've been, all the boxing fans have just wanted to see you guys mix it up. You and AJ haven't done it. Is that the fight that you want? That's the fight that I want. You've heard me talk about it for years.
Yeah.
We're at a situation now where you guys are at the end of your career, but you still got plenty in the tank to give the fans the fights they want. Is that the one you want?
That's the one that everyone would like to talk about and take the respect from this Makhmudov. I think Makhmudov and Joshua would be a good fight. Honestly, it'd be a 50-50 fight.
I don't
Off
think
his
so.
last performance over Jake Paul, that's a 50-50 fight. That's a big, strong man. I put them in the same pot, honest to God. I'm not like putting one of them down. I think it's 50-50 fight. They're both big two lumps, big bangers with no ability. And
that answers my question perfectly there. That's exactly what I knew.
He's a perfect one for a warm-up, isn't he, for AJ? Same size, same kind of punch vocabulary.
Is big, strong, come forward.
Yeah.
Your arsenal will allow you to, if you're in the shape that we know you can be.
He made me look like Tyson Fury!
I do want to ask you a question about your mindset, because anyone that has watched At Home with the Furies, I being one of them, I love your wife. I'm sure you get that all the time. Paris is incredible. We know that in the build-up to this fight, you've been saying, I came back because boxing needed me, because I need to make it great, because it's boring without me and all of those things. But then we watch the Netflix show where you clearly talk very openly about how much you need boxing.
I need it also.
So what are you looking to gain from this fight? What did you need in your
I'm just
fifth
happy
return?
To be back, and retirement sucks. Getting old sucks. Injuries suck. But at the end of the day, while I still can do this, I'm going to continue to do it. Mike Tyson fought at 60-year-old the other day, so I've got plenty of years left. I'm going to box at that age.
Are we doing air quotes with fight?
Yeah.
He fought.
Why not?
Yeah.
If Anthony Joshua fought him, Mike did definitely fight too.
Right.
So, yeah, I hope to enjoy this. This is fun and games for me. It's entertainment. It's just like filming this Netflix show or documentary or series, which I'm filming right now, actually, season 3, which is absolutely jokes. I'm going to be the next Kardashians in a minute.
Yeah, you really are. You're on your way.
But it's crazy because nothing will give me the pleasure as getting punched in the face by this big giant on Saturday night. Nothing. Not nights out with a wife in Saint-Tropez, not going on a holiday with the boys, drinking in a boozer. Nothing. This gives me the ultimate turn-on. And that may sound weird for a man at 37-year-old who's been around forever. 2008, I turned pro. 2008. I've shut up my slippers on now. It's granddad time. But I enjoy it that much. Why not? All the time I'm able to do it, physically, mentally, and emotionally, I'm going to continue. And look, the fans still want it. 60, 70,000 fans at Tottenham on Saturday night. Netflix won it, the biggest broadcasting streamer on earth. So why don't I want it? And that's why I'm back.
By the way, I don't think it sounds weird. I think it sounds like a born boxer.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like someone that was born.
Listen, I want to know what song you're going to sing after the fight.
What song?
Yep.
It's a special one.
Okay.
It's going to touch the audience.
Okay, good.
Really good.
All right, I'll be
amazing,
looking forward.
Amazing ring walk. Unbelievable.
All right.
Can't wait to see it. You just came out to Billy Ocean. Was that a choice by yours?
Oh, sure.
I love that. The Caribbean Queen.
Caribbean Queen was one of the only training camp song for this year. 2026. This Thailand training camp, we played Caribbean Queen so many times. It's an unbelievable tune. Big fan of Billy Ocean, by the way, if you're watching.
We love a Billy Ocean. And we love you back, Tyson Fury.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for this, and thank you for livening up the press conferences. We were
It
like, this is
was
too much of a business
one. It was a quiet
trip.
one, super quiet. You was actually quiet to start off with.
I was.
We took a little while, just 16 months out. You needed a little bit of time. Once you
It's
warmed
hard,
up,
Dave.
I'm like, he's back.
It's hard to talk trash talk back and forth with someone who's not really
Who can't speak,
English.
doesn't
You know what I mean?
speak
It's
English,
hard.
Yeah.
It's like a one-man show.
You warmed up into it nicely.
Well, this to me is everything. And people say, I want to fight for money, I want to fight for belts. But being here, look, I'm sat next to the great Lennox Lewis and England's own David Hay. Do you know what I mean? It's like Netflix, we're all here together, and I'm active. And I never knew what Apollo was on about when he was talking to Rocky in that movie, and he said, you don't know what I'm talking about, Rock. You're still doing it. I ain't got it no more. I want it. And that's what it is. You don't realise what you've got until it's gone. And then you realise what you had. And you're all the time trying to chase and get it back. And I'm in that position now. I'm here because I love this game. I've loved it from being a little boy unto a seasoned veteran. And I'll always love this game. And I think it's one of those things where you never get it fully out of your system, no matter how old you are, or no matter how good or bad it's been to you. Deeply, deeply in love with it. And it's one of them things where I think I'll always be the same. I'll never get rid of it. It's a part of me inside. DNA.
Yeah, when it's very natural, and it seems like it's coming from a natural place. I do wonder tomorrow, as we get ready to send you on your way at the weigh-in, you got any theatrics, antics? Are you going to try to get a psychological advantage against Makhmudov? What do you got planned?
Well, if I told you that live on television,
then it wouldn't be
it wouldn't be the game, would it?
There would be no theatre.
No theatre. So you'll have to have a wait. But like I say, it's very hard to go in on somebody who's such a nice person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's got the aura, persona of like this big nasty bear, but he's a big cuddly teddy bear, really. Like, such a lovely fella.
Now that you said that, we won't mention who the rabbit is right now, but a lot of people don't know who the rabbit is.
No.
I know who the rabbit is.
Okay, you knew that inside joke because we did not.
Yes.
Okay.
So we won't mention him because we don't want to talk about him right now.
Okay.
But are you going to get the rabbit one day?
Like I said to the rabbit the other day, on Instagram, he's like, oh, I'm building up this third fight. Obviously, the man wants a third fight. The fucking payday's here.
Yeah.
I'm the man with the money.
Yeah.
And it's like, we may as well just give you the decision first, shall we? And I'll just do it for the dough. Is that all right?
Yeah.
He's like, ha, 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 funny. Look, listen, it's hard. If it goes, listen, there's countries, all this. I don't want to start going into it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to I can't knock him out, or else I would have done already.
Yeah.
I've come close a couple of times, and I ain't going to get it. It's just going to be another lopsided decision on the scorecards. Even I'll be like that. Fucking hell, I won this fight, yay! And then I've lost on the scorecard. So it is what it is. I'm not mad about it because I made a shit ton of money out of it. But at the end of the day, I thought I deserved more than that. But it is what it is. Will it happen? Who knows? Who else are they going to fight? Nobody. Do I want to give him another payday? Not really. But would I do it for free? Of course, because I'm a fighting man. But it's a hard one because I know for a fact if I don't knock him out, I'm not getting a decision, no matter what I do. If I win 11 out of 12 rounds, I've lost. So that's just my personal opinion.
By the way, for the folks that
concentrate on my own guy here and see where this goes.
Yeah.
Because I've had 2 fights with him. He's beat me fair and square twice, and I can't do any more. So as far as I'm concerned, that's closed for now. I'm going to concentrate on this big Russian fella and then Anthony Joshua, and then maybe at the third fight. I want 3 fights this year, Lennox. If I'm back, I want a real go at it. I don't want to be inactive. I want to have a real run this year, and I want to do April, maybe September and December. So maybe Usyk will be that December fight, but if it's going to happen, it's got to happen here. I'm not going abroad again, no way. It's got to happen here.
Sounds good.
By the way, I was just going to try to fill in the blank for the folks at home, but you mentioned it. He's talking about Alexander Usyk. We're going to send you on your way, but I do have to say, I actually work for Netflix, and my boss is going to be like, where is your Netflix-branded suit, Elle? Because Tyson Fury certainly pulled this guy. It's fantastic.
I thought, Netflix, big occasion, I bring the Netflix suit out.
You know what to do.
Off.
They love it. They are very, very happy,
I'm
no
happy.
doubt.
I'm happy that they're happy.
Same. And we're happy that you're happy, Tyson, because you bring a ton of energy. Look at that.
I'm like
That's a happy guy right there. That's a happy man. All right. Thank you for your time.
Guys. Thank
we'll
you
see you
so
tomorrow
much.
at the weigh-in. And, of course, good luck on Saturday night. Tyson Fury. Thank you so much, Tyson. I really am like the biggest fan of his reality show. I'm like, where's Paris? She's absolutely fantastic. As we wrap this thing up, final thoughts on what you just heard from Tyson Fury here on the stage, and just you both know him well.
Yeah, Tyson's hyped. He's ready. Back. Looking forward to this, and I can't wait to see the fight because some of the things that he's going to come out with, that he's going to be able to come out with in this fight, will be good, and the fans will love it.
That was the energy up here that wasn't there right at the start.
Sure.
At the start, he was very mellow. He was just warming into it. As I said to him, it's because he needs the camera to fire himself up. He knows he knows his showtime soon.
Yeah, this is his time. He's ready. If he doesn't do it this time, he can't.
And again, he's doing it in front of a global audience on Netflix, which is, of course, a little less than 48 hours from today. But tomorrow we still have the ceremonial weigh-in where we'll have where will there be antics? Will they finally ratchet up some of the tension? Will there be animus? We will certainly see. For now, on behalf of David and Lennox, I'm Elle Duncan. We say thank you so much for joining us here at Canary Wharf. We will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here as we get you ready for the Clash of the Giants.